Hey, ofmyseat here, back again with another brand new video. So today I will be no damaging main ops 16 through 31 of the Phantom Pain. So this is indeed part 2 of my Phantom Pain no damage series. If you have not seen my first video where I tackle main ops 0 through 15, you should probably go watch that because I'm going to try to not repeat topics from that video. However, that video was 4 hours and 36 minutes, so I feel like there might be some overlap in this video as well, but I do plan on talking about some new things, and some of those new things are like this mission right here. So main ops 16, the Traitors Caravan. So the primary objectives for this mission is to identify the escort unit, which is the armored vehicle, identify the transport truck, extract that said transport truck, and also the secondary objectives are eliminate the skulls, extract the transport truck driver, pinpoint the escort unit's estimated route from an intel file, listen to all the conversations between transport truck driver and outpost soldiers, and extract 3 zero-risk security soldiers. So yeah, like we're going to be doing all that throughout this mission, and I'll try to explain what I'm doing here. But right now we're going to be doing a very famous thing from the Phantom Pain. We're just going to be running in a lot of empty space, because this is the first open world Metal Gear Solid, but it's also the one which has the most empty space out of all of them. Look at this, we're in Africa, we're with our dog here, D-Dog. I've not really given him a name, and I don't really plan to, but like we're just here running around. And I believe what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to parallel the environment, which in real life you're not supposed to do, but since this is a video game, it works out just fine. So pretty much there's like an intel file which is right like near one of the tents. Yeah, the one on the right. So yeah, right now I'm just kind of doing some flops here. However, there's soldiers, like there's 3 soldiers on the right, which you really want to watch out for. I'm just kind of crawling here, and I'm actually going to wait for these soldiers to kind of cross the tent, because there's this one opening at that door right there. Like, I don't know, I've had times where I rushed straight into the tent, I got the intel file, and then those guys immediately saw me. So instead, I'm just going to wait for those guys to pass by, and then I'm going to enter the tent, which will make escaping a lot easier.
You found an intel file.
Updated.
Now that cutscene I believe is skippable, however it's so cool that I don't really want to skip it, and it's brief enough that I never really need to skip it. And here I accidentally made some noise, so now we got like these 3 guards real suspicious of me, but I'm just going to take advantage of that and slowly make my way out of the tent. But it's probably better that you don't make noise while you're in the tent, don't knock over any objects and all that, but right now I'm just trying to escape, and I got really lucky. Now I did say that I would do some research for this video, and by research I meant listening to the soundtracks of the Metal Gear Solid games, and well, I listened to the first Metal Gear soundtrack, and I have some things to say. Now, anyways, here I believe is our next objective. Oh, yeah. So that place I just marked, that's one of the conversations we have to listen to. It's like right in the airport area. And, okay, so this game, like, a lot of its optional objectives have to do with listening to conversations, but it's also, like, one of the most buggy objectives in the game. Like, it pretty much requires you, like, most of the time to do perfect stealth, because if you, like, alert the enemies in any which way or kind of disturb them, there is a slight chance that objective is just completely glitched and you're gonna have to restart the mission. Now that isn't always true, because in my previous video I have actually like alerted the enemy somewhat, but I was still able to hear like the final conversation of a certain mission. So it's not always life and death when it comes to this stuff, but you know, it's glitchy, so it's better off you don't try to like alert or like trouble any of the enemies. Like, you know, make sure that they're like in their normal patterns, you know, non-alerted. And yeah, now we're just more running in empty terrain, and you know, if I had D-Horse with me, I'd probably speed up this whole process a lot more. However, D-Dog, he can spot enemies all around me, and like, that's pretty much the most useful skill in the game. Like, D-Dog is absolutely my favorite partner in this game, because like, I don't know, D-Horse, like, sometimes you'll need him, and sometimes I'm just fine running in empty space. Like, I don't really like the whole running in empty space, but I can manage with it, and I can still get S rank. Oh yeah, I should probably mention that I will be trying to S rank all the missions and get all the objectives in all the missions at the same time. The only time I don't do this is for one mission in particular, and I'll explain why once we reach that mission. But yeah, when it comes to like Metal Gear soundtracks, I listen to like the actual first Metal Gear on the MSX, not the NES version. I actually hear the NES version has a different soundtrack, but I have not gotten around to listening to it. Oh yeah, this is another objective. Just run around the road, and then we found our like zero risk members. I don't really know why there's zero risk, because they're just a different PF, but you need to extract those guys and their vehicle. So, but instead of doing that right now, I'm just going to wait until the final part of the mission, and I marked them like right now so that when I actually reach the final part of the mission, I'll know where they are, because they have a tendency to not be at the location they're supposed to be. Like, they have a tendency to be all around the map, so just, you know, I keep a mark on him, but I'm not going to get him right now, because I feel like if I get him right now, it may actually disturb the conversation that's in this airport. Oh yeah, and thankfully you don't actually have to enter the airport. You can actually listen to it from the outside. Oh yeah, at this airport you're also going to mark the transport truck, because like it's inside the building, but we're going to climb up this cliff here, and then we'll be able to get a good vantage point on not only like the truck, but also the person driving the truck, you know, etc, etc. We're completing objectives as we go. But yeah, I'm trying to talk about like Metal Gear soundtracks, and I keep getting sidelined. So yeah, so Metal Gear 1 for the MSX. Like, this game, it's got the crunchy beats, and like, I don't know, some highlights of like this soundtrack is absolutely like the theme of Tara, which has been reused in like the VR missions for like Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. So if you've like done the VR missions for those games, you may have heard like a arrangement of that theme, the theme of Tara, and the escape theme, Escape Beyond Big Boss. This theme is like, it's like when the 8-bit music gets like really hype and goes like yo, like it's that kind of theme. I don't really know a good way to explain it. I'm not a music theorist, but I think like those two themes are like the highlight of the game. Also, if the YouTube video I saw, which said the full soundtrack is to be trusted, the full soundtrack of the first Metal Gear is 12 minutes long. Oh yeah, from here we're also going to identify the tanks. I don't know if this is an objective, but it's good to identify these tanks because we will have to extract one at one point, I believe, or maybe I'm wrong in that. I don't know. But yeah, just identify those tanks. But yeah, once I listened to like Metal Gear 1 soundtrack, I then said, listening to the soundtrack, like the full soundtrack of every single game, is going to take a really long time. I'm just going to focus on the Phantom Pain instead, because I don't know, I'm releasing this video like pretty fast, and that's because for the next 5 days I'm going to be a little MIA, little vacation time, and I'm not really going to be able to do any commentary. So there's a few things I could have researched more, but I'm just going to put that on hold for the third video, because I don't know, for the next part, I'm going to try to do main ops 32 all the way to 50, which is 18 main ops. I don't know, like the previous video and this video have been 16 main ops, so 18, like, I don't know, these videos are already pretty long. So for the next one to have more main ops, it may be the longest video yet. So I think I'll have a lot to talk about there. But it's also pretty hard to come up with new topics for this video. But yeah, I went and like actually listened to a good majority of the... Well, before I get on that, this is the spot where you're going to listen into the conversation. Like, there's going to be like two blue dudes. Like, one of them is going to like approach the other one, and then they're going to stand still for a little bit, and then they're going to start talking. But yeah, oh yeah, here we go. You see that guy on the right? He's going to start talking to that other guy. And then the other guy's going to slowly turn around and then talk to him. And then when they're talking, I'm going to stop talking. But yeah, the Phantom Pain soundtrack is actually on iTunes, and so is the Apple Music now. And so is the extended version of the Phantom Pain soundtrack, which has like a silver cover or something. I don't know, like the normal cover is just like the game cover with like Big Boss's face on a black background, while the extended edition has like this cool like white, like flashed out like cup look. And it's kind of important to distinguish between the two, because the extended edition has like 5 hours like extra of new tracks, like over 100 new tracks, which they didn't include in like the OG like original score soundtracks. That was pretty crazy. Anyways, these guys are talking. Now they're done talking. So now that I've pretty much completed out this objective, I think I'm going to like unmark. Oh no, I already marked like the other area I'm going to go to. So the next area I'm going to go to, I believe, is an enemy camp of sorts, which like these guys are going to show up to, and they're going to have another conversation there. However, they take like forever to get there. So I'm going to do something a little special to like pass the time while they're trying to get there, and you'll see what I mean when we get there. But yeah, to get back to the soundtracks, given my just access to Apple Music, I was able to listen to a good chunk of the Ground Zero soundtrack, and like, I don't know, I'm just going to go through it. So like the Camp Omega theme is pretty cool. Like, I don't know, it sets a really nice mood for like the whole game of sorts, and seeing how Camp Omega is like the only area in Ground Zeroes, because it's kind of a glorified demo game, which still costs $20, even though the Phantom Pain also costs $20 in this current day. Like, word to the wise, do not buy Ground Zeroes by itself. Like, if you're gonna get Ground Zeroes, get it packaged with the Phantom Pain. Like, I heard the Game of the Year edition of the Phantom Pain, like brings ground zeros with it, that's a great deal. Pick that up. I hear that sometimes, like, I don't know, I pre-ordered this game when it came out, and when I pre-ordered it, the ground zeros came for free, so it was like, all right, cool. Like, do stuff like that, but do not buy ground zeros by itself. It's not worth it. It's like a complete rip-off. I mean, the game is fun because it's just, you know, the Phantom Pain gameplay, but like in Camp Omega, and Camp Omega is such a great location and like setting, and honestly, it's still probably like one of the best levels from like this Metal Gear Solid 5 saga of games. And I'm kind of sad that it doesn't return in the Phantom Pain, especially since there's a lot of cool things they could have done with like its return. So yeah, here's the area, and now we're gonna wait like 3 to 4 minutes for the guy who we have to listen to in a conversation to show up. So I'm just gonna position myself so I can get a nice camera angle once the guy actually shows up. But yeah, so beyond just the Camp Omega theme, like all the Metal Gear Solid soundtracks definitely have motifs in their soundtracks. But since I haven't listened to all the soundtracks yet, I'm just gonna talk about the motifs in the Ground Zeroes one, because I'm listening to this soundtrack and I keep hearing the don't do like those guttural sounds. It makes you like do hiccups, and that's just messes up your whole flow. But yeah, like that like that keeps playing in all the tracks, especially in like the track called The Girl's Gone. Like The Girl's Gone is a pretty awesome track. It's really suspenseful. It's perfect for like just the whole situation and whatnot, and like trying to escape from the facility. Also, the hiccups are hitting me bad. Bloodstained Anthem is a pretty good action theme. Here I'm just gonna play some nice old arcade music from Yakuza 0. I mean, this game isn't originally... Oh no, not the hiccups, they actually hurt now. I don't know, the music isn't originally from Yakuza 0, but Yakuza 0 featured the arcade game, which has this music, so, you know, I'm just going to play it here, and it's a very nice track, and it helps pass the time while this slow-ass truck driver over there takes just so long in getting here. Okay, to be fair, I don't think this guy is as egregious as some of the other people in this game, though maybe... When I say like waiting for someone with a really egregious wait time, it may be someone else. I may be referring to someone else, though. Did you see that? It was pretty egregious. But yeah, the song Bloodstained Anthem is also a really good action theme, and the track like She's Rigged just reminds me a lot of the cutscene, especially when it gets all intense. Like, yeah, like whoa, like oh my god, like it reminds me a lot of that really brutal ass cutscene. So it was kind of uncomfortable to listen to. So like wow, because it just reminds me so much of the cutscene. And also yeah, the Fall of Mother bass like song. It's kind of whatever in the first half, but once it reaches the second half, it was like yo, it's just like the grandeur of everything was awesome. And also Drop Off. I actually don't know if the song Drop Off is a Phantom Pain song or a Ground Zero song, but that one's also really good. It goes really, really hard. But yeah, I think that's like all the tracks I listen to from Ground Zeroes, which is not all the tracks, because the thing about these albums is because they don't cover all the tracks in the original soundtrack, which is on iTunes or Apple Music. Like the extended soundtrack probably covered more tracks, but it's like I was not able to listen to all of them, so that's pretty much my coverage of Ground Zeroes. Anyways, these guys are talking.
Blykbaar vol spooke. En enige iemand wat ooit daarin gaan, kom nooit uit nie. So jy weet daarvan. Luister, jy loop nie en praat hieroor nie. Wat bedoel jy? Ek skuld julle 'n gids, so volg net my advies. Ag, weet, hierdie ou.
So now that we're done with that conversation, I believe I'm going to pretty much unmark this place and I'm going to mark this place. So yeah, right here is where the final conversation is going to take place. So I'm just going to rush on over there before they get there. And that's pretty much like how the mission... Oh yeah, also I'm going to call supply requests, because at that point in time, that's when the skulls show up for what is a pretty easy boss fight if you know what you're doing. And oh, it seems I forgot to unmark the last place, which is kind of, you know, sad, but whatever. Thing is, I can't exactly outrun this car, so I'm gonna try to beat it by terrain maneuver. There's a word for this, traversal, terrain traversal, whatever. By like trying to cut corners to pretty much beat this car, tank, what have you. But yeah, once I called an extra supply marker because the way I'm going to beat the skulls is with sleep grenades. However, with the upgrades I have now, I only have 4 sleep grenades. So to get around that, I'm going to have a supply marker there, like, you know, ready for me, so that once I run out of sleep grenades, I just go to that, like, supply mark and I just get more. And I can't exactly call a supply marker during the battle because I believe the mist kind of blocks that, though I haven't tried it. But there's a reason I got to do this, so I'm just doing this right now. And yeah, we're pretty much at the base, so we're going to crawl to a certain point where the 2 trucks are going to, where like the truck dude is going to show up, and I'm going to wait for like the final conversation to happen, and then I'm going to approach the truck, and then a cutscene is going to happen, which I am going to skip. I will be saying I will be skipping all these cutscenes. Just because, well, look how long the video is, like, with all the cutscenes skipping. And also, watching the cutscenes actually adds to your time, so there is a possibility that you might lose that S rank if you watch the cutscenes through and through, though to be fair, that's not always the case, but sometimes it is the case. So yeah, here we go. Here's the truck, and... oh, no, that's a tank. Now here's the truck, which I'm waiting for. And the distance you have to be at to listen to a conversation without the intel scope, like, it's a little bigger than you think it would be, though the intel scope kind of clears that distance so you can get that nice, crisp, you know, words. And this game is definitely about words, ideologies, language. There's a certain character who talks a lot about that. I could talk about him a little later. But yeah, right now, these dudes are going to exchange some words, but right now they have to get into position to do so.
Hey, stop it. Jy ken die reëls. Lig daai seil op en my kliënt gaan bedonder dra. Dink jy ek gee hel om? Ons het 'n ooreenkoms. Jy sal aangekla word van kontrakbreuk. Sê vir jou baas hy moet die rekening stuur. Wat die hel, man? As 'n aansteeklike siekte om die buitepos. Stroom af. Is waarskynlik dat dit deur 'n ander permanente mag losgelaat is. En jy blameer die FSA. Ek het dit nooit gesê. Maar op die oomblik is almal bietjie lig geraak oor buitestanders. Net een kyk en ons kan alles oplos. Ek gaan nie die verantwoordelikheid hiervoor vat nie.
Dis 'n CP. Laat die konvooi deur. Archaea het ons geskakel. Die boodskap is: ons het 'n gesamentlike verhouding met zero risiko sekuriteit in hierdie saak. Eensidige optrede in die gebied sal nie geduld word nie. Eensidige optrede sal nie geduld word nie. Dit was Archaea se bevel. Ons het geen ander keuse nie.
So yeah, now that conversation is, I'm going to approach them, and then the skulls are going to pop out. And like, this is one method of storytelling the Phantom Pain kind of chooses instead of the long cutscenes. Instead, we can have these optional conversations, kind of like, I don't know, world building in a sense. And I don't know, I should probably mention that. Well, to be fair, I mean, I mentioned it in my previous Phantom Pain video, but maybe some people haven't seen that. So, like, I would watch other people's walkthroughs to kind of get ideas for what kind of strategies to approach. And like this strategy I'm doing right now, where I throw magazines to kind of draw the skulls closer together, and then I'm going to throw a sleep grenade to pretty much put them to sleep. But if they're closer together, I can get more skulls. Though, to be fair, I don't think I'm very effective with that in this attempt, though I do manage to take out all the skulls with about 7 sleep grenades, 6 sleep grenades. Like, I don't know, once you see like that blue bar slowly going down, you hit them in the right place. However, one thing you want to watch out for, you do not want to like you do not want the grenade to like directly bounce off one of the enemies, because I believe that they go into like full alert at that point, and then like your stealth here is pretty much broken. But yeah, right now, as long as you keep it sneaky, and as long as you called that supply marker earlier, there'll be supplies right behind you. So once you run out of these sleep grenades, if you don't have 8, if you haven't upgraded your sleep grenade like rank to have 8 sleep grenades on you, then you can always just have a supply marker there and just refill. So there we go, boom. Now, whenever there's an objective which says to neutralize the skulls, I'm actually a little curious if that means only neutralize one of them or neutralize all of them. I believe like if you neutralize all of them, you get more points, but if you neutralize one of them, you may still complete the objective, but I don't know. Better off just do all of them since I can, but right now I ran out of sleep grenades, so I'm just slowly backing into the place where I have all my supplies. Oh no. I thought the hiccups would be gone, but that was a very weird hiccup, and I just wanted to go away. But yeah, like this game's storytelling. So, you know, that's like a neat little bit of storytelling. I mean, it's kind of like giving you an idea of what like the rank and file foot soldiers are doing. kind of alluding to future events and also just building up the event that's going to happen in this mission right now. And this mission is a little bit more story focused than the other ones, because the other ones sometimes it seems like you're doing more menial tasks, while here there's a little bit more going on, and it will kind of lead to a bigger per se payoff. I don't know, but I don't know. One thing which I'm not really big on the Phantom Pain is it's more episodic structure. Because like there is a lot of like Metal Gear trappings, you know, kind of trappings which I like to see. Like I don't know, I mean, like I feel like if this game was presented its story differently, maybe I'd like it more, or maybe if it just didn't embrace the episodic like structure that well. If it didn't embrace the episodic structure so strongly, because I don't know. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention importing YouTubers. So I don't know. I might as well re-mention them right now. But pretty much the one guy which I saw to pretty much learn all the strategies and whatnot is his name is Mike Betancourt. Go watch his videos. He has done a full playlist where he S ranks and does all the objectives in every single Metal Gear Solid 5 mission. And I pretty much use his strategies for the most part to complete the missions, though not always. Sometimes I deviate, but yeah, like his videos were very helpful in like forming mine. But one YouTuber which I want to mention is one who has made a Metal Gear Solid 5 analysis, and probably one of the best analysis in this current day. Like it's a very long video, it's 2 hours, and it's made by this dude called Kevy Reviews Things, and the video is called like, I don't know, Metal Gear Solid 5 Messy Masterpiece. And, you know, maybe that title might put you off, and yeah, I am giving the same sales pitch as my previous video. So yeah, once you finish neutralizing the skulls, you can now extract the tanks, you can now extract the truck, and you can now extract the zero risk like strike force over there. So I marked them because look how far away they are. They have a tendency to do that, so it's best to mark them, just so that once you reach this point in the mission, you'll know that where they are and all that, because they have a tendency. Look at that, just look at that, man. Like they should be here, but they're all the way over there. So it's just like, you know, you always got to be careful with these guys, and I was. But yeah, like in his video, like Kevy Reviews Things, when he was like analyzing the Phantom Pain, he keeps talking about how, I don't know, people who say that like the Phantom Pain's like 5 story is just nothing aren't really right. Because like I don't know, the game's always doing these cool things in its missions, like subtle build-ups, you know, subtle foreshadowing, like a certain guard will talk about a thing and then that thing will happen in the next mission. And I don't know, like I still like have to kind of revisit this game's story more, because I haven't exactly rewatched all the cutscenes. I listened to a couple tapes, and I will be talking about those tapes later. And I've pretty much done missions to 0 all the way to 31 gameplay wise. So it's just like right now, I think what I'm feeling is that, you know, yeah, those are all very neat things, you know, like whoa, yeah, I like that this game spends less time with exposition. Like, you know, it's cool that this game kind of puts all that into the cassette tapes instead of the cutscenes. Like, yeah, it's nice that Venom Snake doesn't always say so many dumb questions and only speaks when it's important, but I feel like all these things are kind of in service of an overall experience that I'm not really for. Like, I don't know. Like, for example, this mission, like, we have these 2 soldiers talking about, oh, this plot point, like, whoa, it's like there's like this tension going on between the, I don't know, the PFs in the area because of a previous thing you did where you blew up the water refinery field, and that like infected a lot of people. It's like, okay, and like I don't know, I feel like these tensions aren't really ever going to be brought up again. Like those characters don't really matter. To be fair, I guess like these characters talking can be compared to whenever you watch a cutscene in the previous games, like 2 guards talking about like a future event. So it's kind of like one of those like tropes in Metal Gear. But I don't know, it's just something about it just doesn't ring right with me. And with Venom Snake in general, like I think I talked about his character before, about how, you know, like there is a really good character hiding here. He just doesn't really have a strong connection with any of the cast to really shine. And like here, I think that's kind of it. Like, you know, there's all these like really cool things that like these cool like writing things with Venom, but he doesn't really get a chance to shine because he doesn't really have any chemistry with like any of the cast really. And also, it's just at the end of the day, it's like, okay, he doesn't do all these dumb questions like the other Metal Gear protagonists, but also, what more does he have to give? All he gives is like silence for the most part, aside from like 1 or 2 like character building moments, like when he kind of stops 2 soldiers from fighting and kind of shows a deep care for his comrades. Like, that's like the one chemistry thing he has. But beyond that, I don't know. I want to talk about it like in a more direct fashion, though. I don't know. This is a non-scripted commentary video. So before I start talking about that, I'm instead going to talk about the objectives for this mission. So now, main ops 17. The objectives are just, I don't know, let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, rescue the intel agents. And pretty much your primary objectives are extract the intel team member escaping through the forest to the north of the camp, extract the intel team member being held at Kaziba camp, and your secondary objectives are to extract 2 CFA officials, extract the prisoner being held at Kaziba camp, extract 4 search team reinforcements, and extract the transport truck driver. So it's a lot of objectives, and honestly, I've kind of forgotten about a few of them, so I'm just going to see how I handle this mission. Like, I don't know. It's very hard to get concrete thoughts on, like, why certain aspects of the Phantom Pain were disappointing, but I don't know. When it comes to episodic structure, I also want to bring up other series which, like, do it well or whatnot, because, you know, if I complain, oh, the Phantom Pain, like, you know, Mission 5, the structure is so poopy caca, I mean, at least I should have an example of someone which does it right, though. I mean, the other series I would probably mention is Cowboy Bebop, but it's been so long since I've seen that series that I don't really know how to describe concretely why it's good in Cowboy Bebop. But oh yeah, I should probably mention that the strategy here is to put like a electric mine, you know, back at that one place I put it at, and then a place here, because right now there's going to be a car coming through and it's going to stun these guys, and then well, I don't know, once it stuns those guys, I'm going to not extract them, because there's going to be another car over there which is also going to pretty much come by, and like once this guy sees the other soldiers which have been stunned, he's going to get out of his car, and then I'm going to get behind him and knock him out. But yeah, I guess it just kind of comes down to the fact that, I don't know, the Phantom Pain's like cast, I don't think it's that strong. It's just filled with a lot of empty space, which just doesn't, boom, I love that punch. I never did that punch before in like my previous Phantom Pain video, but now I'm bringing it back though. Wait, did I? I don't know, I'm pretty sure I never like did the running punch, because I didn't know that in order to do that running punch, you actually have to like manually equip like your arm weapon. So if you have like a tranquilizer pistol equipped, you can't do the running like punch. You need to have like your arm equipped, which, you know, could be a little awkward, especially in some of the higher intensity gunfights, or not. I mean, in this game, I don't think you need to get into any gunfights, but some of the higher intensity encounters, like, it's kind of a little cumbersome to switch to the specific arm weapon to just punch people in a really cool way that isn't just the 5-hit combo or just a throw. But yeah, like, I extract the truck over there, and then I extracted that one truck which was behind these guys, and now I'm extracting these guys. And I believe that completes quite a few of the objectives. Let me just review those objectives real quick. Yeah, I believe that it kind of fulfills the 4 search team reinforcements or the transport truck driver. It fulfills some of those, right? I don't think it fulfills the 2 CFA officials, because I'm starting to remember a little more about this mission. The 2 CFA officials are kind of a unique objective of their own, and they're pretty close to like this main objective. Oh yeah, right now I believe what's going to happen is that there's like a prisoner hiding out in the forest here, and like there's this whole search team trying to find him, and I'm just going to slowly pick off everyone around this prisoner one by one so I can get closer to the prisoner and extract them without anyone worrying about it. I mean, you can kind of ghost this, but I'm not really trying to go for a ghosting run. I'm trying to go for a nice, like, more action stealth run, let's just say, where like it's very non-lethal, it's perfect stealth, but I'm going to be just knocking everyone unconscious, getting into everyone's business, but, you know, perfect stealth. And I will be going for that S rank, so I'll be trying to do everything somewhat speedily, but this game can be pretty generous with like how fast you have to be to get an S rank. As long as you're kind of doing perfect stealth perfectly with a somewhat good rhythm, you should be mostly fine. I don't know, as long as you kind of know what you're doing, know what you're going, because knowing where you have to go can be pretty difficult, especially with a map as huge as this, and especially with some of the extra like objectives. Like, they have you like going from one end of the map all the way to the other one, and sometimes you have to like play through the mission once to kind of know exactly where you have to be, at what time you have to be, especially when you're trying to keep up with like certain like figures or certain like objectives or certain like conversations. Like, you got to know all this ahead of time. And to be fair, a lot of this I kind of learned just from watching the YouTube video. But even if you watch those YouTube videos, like memorizing, we have to do everything, like not pausing and like looking at that YouTube video again to see like what you have to do. Like, just memorizing everything you have to do. I mean, it's quite a bit to take in. So, what was my point again? Alright, S ranks. So yeah, like if you're like looking at the YouTube video, like back and forth, like pausing screens and all that, like you're probably not going to get the S rank, or at the very least, like the video isn't going to look as good. I'm trying to have like a somewhat consistent flow to my gameplay here, so I kind of tend to memorize everything I have to do like ahead of time, just so I can get this nice perfect run. And yeah, once you complete the rescuing the prisoner in the forest, there's another prisoner here. And I kind of like caused it a bit of an alert state just because I alarmed some of the other prisoners, some of like the other enemies in the area when I was like taking them out in the forest. I guess once someone saw a body, then they pulled out their radio. Now they're calling in for reinforcements. And now here, look, I'm just gonna rescue this guy. Very nice. So yeah, another one of the objectives completed. And I believe from here I'm going to try to get the CFA officials, though I'm a little confused if I already got them or not. And now we have that guy, which is a little inconvenient, but I'm pretty sure I can get away from him to get to my next objective over there. Yes. But yeah, back to the episodic structure. Like, I don't know, I mean, I'm no expert on this, even though I should probably learn a little bit more if I'm trying to get into film, but I don't know, usually I guess in episodic structure, like, the characters don't necessarily have to go through an arc, but they can still be developed, per se. I don't know, like with Cowboy Bebop, I think one of its great strengths is like throughout all the genre changes and all the just different environments, different like tones and stories it's telling, like the cast like remains somewhat strong. Each one of them has like their own presence, individuality, just they're all very memorable characters. But the Phantom Pain, it's not like the Phantom Pain has horrible characters. Venom, honestly, like if he had honestly a bit of charisma with some of the other characters, would honestly shape up to be one of the better Metal Gear Solid protagonists. And honestly, even by himself, he has a lot of really standout moments, but man, it's like his charisma with the other characters just kind of gone, and like I'm sure that's like somewhat intentional because he's not the real big boss, so he can't exactly interact in the same way that the original big boss could with like someone like Kaz and all that. And also Kaz has changed a lot, so like I mean the game can kind of fool you into thinking that, oh, since everything has changed so much now, big boss has become a bit of a boring mute. But no, it's just kind of this new guy's personality in a sense, even though he has been that kind of hypnotherapized or whatever into being Big Boss. He still has a lot of traits of his own, and one of his traits is that he's not a big nerd like Big Boss, and also he cares a lot about his comrades, and that kind of shines in certain episodic moments. But that's kind of what I don't like about him. A lot of these moments are really episodic and don't really play into the grand structure of things, because I don't know, like something will be like really emotional, but it'll be this self-contained thing which the characters will never really bring up again in any important fashion. It's just kind of like, aww, what are you doing here? Like, there's other issues too, like the Phantom Pain, which I'm just not big on, though maybe some of these issues might be coming from the disappointment of other games, like mostly the disappointment from 4, how it kept alluding to this grand story of Zero and like like Big Boss and Zero's Cold War, but none of that ever happens. It's always off screen. So, and in this game, like they keep alluding to it in tapes, and it's like, bro, I kind of want to see that, but instead I'm just stuck here with Skullface, and it's like, aw. Though to be fair, a more standalone story with Skullface, like overall, will probably be more appealing to a new player, because I don't know, dragging this game down with a lot of series lore could kind of put off new people, especially since it's like the first Metal Gear Solid game on like a modern console. Since like, I don't know what, like maybe Peace Walker came out on PSP. Metal Gear Solid 4 like came out on the PS3 like what, in 2008, 2007, 9, and then like this game came out in like 2013, 15. Like it's been like nearly like 5 years. So I guess like, I don't know, someone doesn't want to just have this game be so off-putting to newcomers. So for the main cutscenes, they have a more standalone story, which you can understand, while, you know, they still want to appease veterans. So in the tapes, they kind of allude more to the grand overall story of like the Metal Gear saga, which, I don't know, like the grand overall story gets a little annoying, but I won't lie, I'm like, I don't know, in revisiting this game, I'm getting a little wrapped up in some of the larger thematics of this game. And also I just took out the CFA officials, I believe. So there is a way to take them out by planting a mine in the area, but instead of doing that, I believe like I shot their car, and once I shoot their car, it makes them... No, that's not exactly it. Okay, so in order to like slow down a car that's getting away, you can actually shoot at it, and then the enemies will stop for a brief moment and get out of like their transport vehicle, and that'll give you like a good opening to kind of take them out. But I'm not sure if that's exactly what I did there, because I was kind of distracted by the thing I was talking about. But like, yeah, I think I just got a headshot on them before they drove away. But if they're like in the middle of driving, you can shoot them once, and like their car once, and then they'll stop for a moment, and then that'll give you like a better window to headshot them, you know, take them out, non-tranquilize them, you know, whatever. However, with this sniper I have here, as long as you get a nice body shot, they'll be down in seconds. So you don't really need to get a headshot unless you're trying to get that nice 6 like swag headshot. But me, I'm just shooting them in the body. And honestly, the sniper is very useful for when like enemies start wearing like body armor, because I don't know, when they start wearing body armor, like your best bet is either like a headshot or shoot them in the nuts, because you pretty much have to shoot like a non-armored part. Because if you shoot them like in an armored part, it's not going to do anything. Now here, I kind of forget what I'm doing. I guess I'm completing. I believe I've probably done all the other side objectives, so now I'm trying to do the main objective. But I kind of forgot like my approach for this. But yeah, what was I talking about again? I don't know. It's like the second time I forgot something in a very short period of time. Oh yeah, the prisoner we have to rescue is gonna be in the same place where, I don't know, where they like the last mission. There was a certain mission which took place in this exact area where we had to listen to conversations between like, oh yeah, the Viscount mission. So in the Viscount mission, like there's like 2 prisoners in this area, and like if you let them, they would carry those 2 prisoners to like this little hole in the ground. That's where the prisoner is. Now I believe that I didn't know this at first, like while I was playing this mission, so it's gonna take me a little while to find these prisoners, like this one prisoner in the hole of the ground, because D-Dog doesn't pick up the prisoner. I think it's because like the hole is blocking him or something. I don't know. Maybe for like some mysterious like effect or whatnot. Yeah, see, I'm shooting him in the leg because this guy has body armor, so I can't shoot him in the chest because I don't think it's gonna do anything. I could try to go for a headshot. However, when enemies have helmets, it gets a little tricky trying to get a headshot, because usually I just hit the helmet. So with a sniper like this, I'm just better off just getting them with that nice nut shot or just maybe an arm shot. Though, don't sleep on the tranquilizer pistol, because if you shoot them like twice in like a non-head area, it will take them out, as long as you're not shooting like armor, as long as you're shooting like the nuts or the arm or whatever. It'll take like 2 tranquilized bullets if you don't want to wait for them to like go to bed, or if you don't, or if you just can't get a headshot. That's a nice thing to do. Though to be fair, I do have a pretty high rank tranquilizer, so I don't know if like lower rank tranquilizers take like longer to like knock enemies out. But I think like the higher rank tranquilizer pistol gets, I think the only thing that changes is probably like the ammo count and maybe the strength of the suppressor, though I don't know about that. But I definitely got more ammo. Now here I'm using D-Dog to non-lethally take out enemies. Like if you don't have that upgrade, I'm sorry, but yeah. Also, I should probably be mentioning that I'm gonna be tackling these missions from like a new game perspective, because I'll probably have equipment at points which, like if you were playing this for the first time, you probably wouldn't have access to that equipment, because there is a certain piece of equipment that you need to beat mission 31 in order to have, and I am at mission 17. So I'm not going to use that equipment right now. That equipment will show up later, but I'm just letting you know that that's kind of how I'm approaching things. So yeah, I believe right now I'm trying to exfiltrate the hot zone with my main objective, and that's going to end the mission. But yeah, yeah. So there's some mines up ahead, so you just gotta watch out. I'm trying to look at the map just in case just to not trip them and all that. Yada yada. Oh no, I'm just going to a car. And I'm gonna try to like exfiltrate him with the car, but he ends up falling over. I don't know, like I think I saw like in a video walkthrough that, you know, if you exfiltrate like an injured soldier in a car, they'll like get exfiltrated, but no, not that car. I should have gotten a car that was more enclosed, and those cars do exist, and you will be seeing that car in the next mission. Well, it's not really a car, it's more of a truck, but yeah, like that car did not protect my client here. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to call a helicopter, and if I was planning on calling a helicopter, I would have done it a lot sooner, because right now, like, it's going to take a little while for the helicopter to come in, though to be fair, I am quite far away from the helicopter, so maybe once I reach the helicopter, it'll be there for me. But yeah, I should have called it sooner. Like once I had the prisoner, I would have called the helicopter, because like I don't know, there's like a 2 to 3 minute like waiting time for the helicopter to show up, so you got to call it ahead of time. I did it in my Ground Zeroes video, my previous video, and I'm sure like I do it at points in this video, but I did not do it right now, which is just very, very sad. So yeah, like I don't know, I guess back to the characters maybe. Also a lot, like even with listening with the cassette tapes which I have on hand right now, like Like, I revisited the cassette tapes, but I didn't exactly listen to all of them online. I listened to the ones which I have with me in my game right now, and I've only completed Chapter 1 so far, though I have been replaying all the Chapter 1 missions, so I've practically, like, done Chapter 1 twice at this point. I'm like 66 hours into, like, this save file. I mean, I've definitely played the game before. I mean, watch my first video. I go into more detail about that, but yeah. So, like, I have access to quite a good chunk of tapes, but I don't have access to all the tapes, so I guess like those extra tapes, I'll be discussing those in the next video. Yeah, just take a shot every time I say I'm going to talk about something in the next video. But yeah, for the tapes which I've listened to so far, also it's still bland. Like, I mean, I get that maybe he's not trying to act as crazy this time around because, you know, now he actually gets to work with a man he like respects, so he's going to put in his A game, you know, like he's actually going to be like a helpful, you know, person. But man, I don't know, something's missing here. He's way too laid back for like Ocelot. Like, he doesn't have to be as crazy as his previous incarnations, but I don't know what he's doing now. Like, the best he gets are like just kind of being a cool guy, but just the crazy, the entertaining there, he's just kind of gone. Like, he has a few times to shine. He shines sometimes in some of the tapes, but like some lines he reads are like pretty cool and poetic, but I don't know. Yeah. Cause, I mean, he's a pretty cool character in this game, even if he is pretty, like, just... He never really has an arc. He just kind of stays at the same level of anger throughout the game. And honestly, like, some of the... Oh, yeah, so for this mission, this is the Blood Runs Deep. I will not be doing the extra objectives because they are annoying. Like, I do not like when these extra objectives have me going halfway across the map to, like, get a certain thing. Like, these objectives are just obnoxious because, like, one of the objectives is, oh, you have to get the 6 prisoners, but, like, you have to get, like, 6 snipers or something. But 2 of the snipers are, like, halfway across the map, and then, like, the 4 other snipers are, like, on the other halfway across the map. Also, you have to get a certain truck. Also, you have to get a certain tank. And it's like, shut up. Like, I'm just, like, even without doing all the objectives, like, this mission is a pretty decent, like, no, without doing all the objectives, this mission is like one of the shorter ones in my video, but not the shortest because the second half of Chapter 1 definitely has an onslaught of shorter missions. So thankfully, the second half of Chapter 1 starts off with, well, actual gameplay. Because I don't know, the first mission of Chapter 1, well, to be fair, it's not technically the first mission of Chapter 1, it's more the prologue, but I decided to count it anyways because you can S-rank it. Yeah, the prologue chapter is just bad. Like, on the first time playthrough, it won't matter much, but, like, on repeat playthroughs, that stuff drags. It's just, like, scripted gameplay, just condescending tutorials, just bad. Like, Metal Gear has never really had condescending... Oh, no, yes, they have. Metal Gear Solid 2 has some pretty condescending tutorials for, like, meta purposes or, like, whatever. But to be fair, you could probably skip all those codec conversations anyway, so, like, who cares? But yeah, so to be fair, like, I mean, Kaz, Ocelot, I mean, they're alright. They have stuff to do. Huey is a pretty cool character. Maybe he's the one which has, like, a little... No, he never really talks with, like, Venom Snake, so I would say no. But, like, Huey just kind of blames Venom Snake for stuff, though, to be fair. I'm not sure if Venom Snake is, like... If Huey is fully aware that Venom Snake is, like, a fake big boss. I don't know. I think he's, like, pretty deluded by... Venom Snake being the real big boss. To be fair, he's like so caught up in his own lies that like it'd be pretty in character. It'd be pretty ironic, I think. So yeah, right there's a tank. I don't know if I'm gonna have to. No, I'm not gonna extract that tank. So yeah, the way that this mission works with just the main objectives is we have to rescue 6 prisoners. One of them is in this part of the mission, just this objective. It's an adult dude, so I'm gonna get him. It's that guy, so I have to extract that guy. And then the other objective is to get 5 prisoners. They're child soldiers. They're being held in prison all the way on the other side of pretty much where the other like yellow marker is. So I'm gonna rescue those guys. I'm gonna like pretty much be on my way to rescue those guys after I rescue this guy. Well, not really rescue that guy over there, but pretty much extract this guy. And to be fair, this mission starts off by saying like you have to eliminate them. To be fair, any elimination mission in this game can just be an extraction mission. So, but now we have an enemy to work with. The other guys are prisoners. This guy's an enemy. Yeah. I don't know. I think like the dead space I'm talking about when it comes to like the cast of Metal Gear Solid 5 is probably more Quiet and Eli. like quiet. I did not find a good example of like the romance which we're trying to do in this game done right. I don't know, like the kind of like Venom Snake and Quiet kind of have like this silent romance of sorts, because it's the whole point of her character and all, and also the themes, because oh, since we didn't have the English language to communicate, we can never really like understand each other, blah blah blah. But like her design kills it, like just her whole vibe just kind of kills that whole theme. And like Kojima's just weird like 13-year-old boy like wank material, like camera angles and outfit just kind of kill any sincerity which the romance plot could have. And honestly, it doesn't even get that developed either way, except for like that final like exit scene where she leaves. But to be fair, I haven't even done that mission yet, so I think I'll save that discussion for that time. And by the time I have to do that discussion, I think I'll actually have like more media which have tackled the similar kind of romance to talk about. So look forward to that. You can take that shot now. Oh yeah, so I mentioned before that like this game was probably the most inspired by Portable Ops, because it takes a lot of the same aspects from Portable Ops, like kind of structure-wise, just like idea-wise, and kind of applies it to more modern sensibilities. But something which I didn't mention in my previous video is that Portable Ops was also like the first game to introduce like a day and night cycle. So the Phantom Pain finally brought that back, but now it's like it happens in-game. You don't just choose it from a menu. It's like, whoa. And also in the Portable Ops, I really have zero idea what the day and night cycle really affected besides visuals. So like I don't know if guard patterns changed, if there were more guards in the day, like who knows. But yeah, like Portable Ops had that, but now the Phantom Pain, like I have more of an idea of what the day and night cycles affect. So you know, that's nice. It's nice that like this kind of more evolution of Portable Ops. Like not everything goes back to Peace Walker. So yeah, here I'm just traversing empty terrain as you do in the Phantom Pain. Just like, man, like I mean, even though I do talk a lot of shit about Ground Zeroes, like Ground Zeroes, just man, I love that first level because it's like a huge level, but like every part is its own like contained stealth challenge. Like I don't know, the little tents near the beginning of the area, and then like the more military stuff at like the farther end of the area, and then like that middle portion with some of the bunkers and all that. Just like there's so much going on in such a big area. Like it's big, but it's still like self-contained. So like you can have these really like large stealth challenges while also you can have like this large terrain while also having like the same tightness which like a more linear stealth experience would have. It's really nice. While here we have like self-contained areas which are a little smaller than Camp Omega but still very well designed. But in between all those areas we have this empty terrain which just doesn't really add anything. It's just like I don't know, man. Like there has got to be a better way to do this. Look, I mean, there's like a kind of nice immediacy from like, you know, going from one main op and then driving to like another main op and then driving to like a main mission, but I don't like all this walking around and like during the main missions. Even when they lock a certain part of the terrain to a certain mission, I'm still exploring empty terrain. Like what? And like I get like they're trying to include more than one base in their game. Because, you know, if you just put a mission in like just this one area, that'd probably be a little too small. So you want to let the player explore to other areas, but like, oh, there's got to be a better way. And no, not every area is going to allow you to fast travel from one point of the map to the other. I mean, sometimes like certain missions, it's a pretty good idea to fast travel from one place to the other. I did it in the Hellbound mission. There's a really good time to fast travel, so that cuts down on a lot of the tedium of traveling from one place to another. And now here we've reached the camp, and I'm going to exterminate almost everyone in this camp, but not exactly everyone. I'm pretty much going to approach it from the right and just start sniping and tranquilizing everyone from there, just so I can have a pretty like good field to work with when I'm trying to like extract these 5 prisoners, because like there's multiple ways to approach this objective of extracting the 5 prisoners. Also, I believe that I'm going to... Oh, okay, there's one thing I'm going to do, and you're going to see what I mean when I do it. And now, there's a guard running over there, so I'm going to use my dog to knock him out. Very nice. And also, while I'm knocking everyone out, I'm going to extract them with balloons because... Well, like I mentioned in my previous video, when you extract someone with balloons, it pretty much works as like hiding a body in a locker, but better. Because you can just do it as many times as you like, because be fair, I mean, I have a lot of balloons, so if I had a lower count of balloons, I probably wouldn't be able to exfiltrate so many different people from the battlefield. But like 48 is always going to be like more than enough for a main mission. I mean, if you're just out in the open world, like, you're bound to run out at a certain point, but I'm just here doing a main mission, so I can just just full-on extract everyone I want, and it just works hiding the body. They're not going to wake up, because if I just leave them here sleeping, at a certain point they're going to wake up, and they might notice that I'm trying to break out their child soldiers from, like, escaping. So it's like, you know, I'm just getting rid of that possibility altogether whatsoever. And yeah, like, I mean, once I knock one guy out, the other guy's also going to notice, but I'm also going to knock him out. So yeah, let's go.
Leave the rest to us.
Development complete.
He's coming too. Roger that. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Oh yeah, so here, okay, I don't know. I'm going to call a vehicle to drop in on this location, because I will be using that vehicle to exfiltrate a certain child soldier who just can't walk very well. Oh yeah, and by this point in the game, I actually have a Fulton which can Fulton child soldiers out of that area. Though on a new game, you probably won't have that Fulton, so instead you'll have to do this whole thing where, like, you're doing like an escort mission where you're just getting, yeah, here we go, I'm gonna get this vehicle right here. Now this vehicle can carry one person, and thankfully I only needed to carry one person, so, you know, very nice there. And also I marked one of the material containers, because that's gonna be my way out of this area. Oh yeah, so right now I'm going to tell the children to wait, and I'm going to knock them out with tranquilizer bullets one by one, so I can carry their bodies to the entrance once again. So once you go back to the entrance, it's going to be like a two-way part, and the game's like going to visually guide you to the left, but you should go to the right, which is pretty much the original place which you enter this area from, because I'm just going to pretty much balloon these kids out of here at this point. But on your first playthrough, taking the left path will lead you down like this whole little stealth challenge where you have to like tell the kids to wait, and then there'll be like guards patrolling the area, and it'll be kind of like, well, this game's version of an escort mission, kind of like how you had to guide Emma around in Metal Gear Solid 2, kind of how you had to protect Eva in Metal Gear Solid 3. We have to protect these child soldiers, which are just being unfairly being used as child soldiers. I talked about the topic of child soldiers in my previous video, but yeah, I think it is, like, I don't know, pretty cool that, well, maybe not so much cool, but I think it's pretty impactful how the series has constantly, like, has been pretty consistent in in tackling, like, this topic of, like, child soldiers throughout, like, the entire series, and, like, we're still doing that here. But yeah. However, taking the left path kind of seems like a huge pain in the ass, so instead I'm doing this, and to be fair, even if you don't have the full ton to extract these kids, maybe you could just get a lot of supply markers down, like just supply a lot of vehicles just to put all the kids inside the vehicles and then extract those vehicles, because I don't know, for whatever reason, like, I think I can only put one kid into that truck, and that's kind of sad. However, I don't know, if there's like a truck which you can put more kids into it, you could just call in those trucks a bunch of times, and to be fair, it will cost a lot of money, but you know, like, you can at the very least do the mission without needing that extra full-time. However, the only kid which like needs to be carried out of here, like in that truck, is just the one which can't walk. So instead, like all these other kids, I have the Fulton balloon to carry them out. So yeah. Now, I have been neglecting to talk about like the soundtrack for a while. I mean, I started off talking about the Ground Zeroes like soundtrack, but I guess I'll move on to some thoughts about like the Phantom Pain soundtrack. And I don't know, I guess I avoided talking about it because I realized that I go really fast through what I want to say just because I don't have that much to say about the music except, oh, this is cool, oh, this is boring, oh, this is like, I'm not the best music critic per se. But, you know, whatever, I'm going to talk about some Phantom Pain tracks, and maybe if you aren't too familiar with the Phantom Pain soundtrack, maybe you have something, one or two things to listen to and form an opinion on. So, yeah. Now here I accidentally climbed into the truck, and that was a mistake. I am trying to export this truck, and since this truck has closed doors, this kid is not going to fly out of it when the truck goes belly up like that. And now I'm going to leave this area through the material containers. But yeah, back to music. music. So now Phantom Pain. So I started off listening to like the original score soundtrack, not the extended edition, and like the song V Has Come To is like so dope. I don't know, it's just like it's really epic. It has this really like sad thing, like dong, 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 but then like it builds up and it's like, I don't know, I just love that track. Honestly, it was a really great track to start the album off with. So yeah, here once I put a balloon here, I can also hold on to the balloon and just that's how I leave the area. But yeah, like V Has Come To is a really great track, and like the soundtrack of like the Phantom Pain, like I don't know, Ludwig, the soundtrack he did for Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain, like it's definitely going for a more cinematic sound. There's a lot more like like on a dubstepy noises, and you know, I was worried it was gonna be kind of a generic thing, but there's all these like really great weird touches, like with these distorted guitars, like, these futuristic like beeps and boops, like just a lot of really great strange touches. Give this really unique futuristic kind of like weird flair to it that just like goes a little beyond just a normal cinematic soundtrack. It's a very like unique sound in like a lot of ways, and like for like these and for like the major tracks, I think it really does come out well, and it is a very aggressive sound, sometimes maybe a little too dubstepy, but like, you know, whatever. I'll elaborate on that later. Anyways, this mission, this will be mission 19. Yes. So let me talk about what we have to do on mission 19 on the trail. So the primary objectives are identify the PF commander known as the Major, eliminate the Major, but the secondary objectives are identify the subordinate of the Major, extract the Major, extract the Major subordinate, extract the prisoner being held at, I don't know how to pronounce that station, Munoko ya Nokia station, any guard post, and listen to the conversation between the Major and his subordinate. Now this mission I do remember somewhat well, but I don't exactly remember what order I do the events in, but this is a mission which you kind of need a good plan for, but I think right now I'm just running over to this camp because I know that in this camp, that's where the Major is going to be. And I'm going to mark the Major and his car, and then I'm going to go to the location where the Major is going to be to have a conversation and stuff. But I'm trying to find this guy, and there he is. Now, from here on out, I don't exactly know. Okay, I'm going to mark the place I'm going to go to. I forget why I have to go there, but I guess I'll just have to wait and see. So, back to Metal Gear Solid 5 soundtrack. Just give me some time. I have some stuff written in notes, and it's pretty much just empty walking, so I have plenty of time to talk about this. But yeah, like I don't know, Ludwig, if I'm pronouncing that right, is kind of like the goat here. And okay, so another cool song is like Parasites. Like Parasites have all these like weird people talking. That's what I'm talking about. Like all these like weird, like scary touches. Like so, Parasites, like the song has all these like weird people going like, but like a cooler version of that. Like, don't imagine me doing that. Like, imagine a cool version of that, and that's what like the song sounds like. It's very ominous. It fits like that vibe perfectly. Like, yeah. Also, Exfiltrate the Hot Zone. That song, pretty swaggy, and it actually has a habit of, you know, actually playing during gameplay and being noticeable. Because I don't know. One issue with this game is that there's like quite a few dope tracks, but sometimes those dope tracks have a habit of not appearing. Because, I don't know, either, like, you need to meet very specific conditions for those tracks to pop up, or it needs to be a certain time for those tracks to pop up. Like, there's this one, sneaking track that will only play if you're perfect sneaking, and if you get noticed by an enemy, it goes away. There's a really cool, if you dive off a really high place, but not high enough to kill you, you're going to do a sick roll. So, you could do rolls in previous Metal Gear Solid games, like in Metal Gear Solid 2, they introduced the roll. But now you have like this quick dive, which is more useful. But if you're like jumping from a high enough place, you can still do that sick roll. But yeah, I don't know, like a lot of this game's music, like some of the most memorable tracks have a tendency to not be played, and also apparently there's different music if you enter a mission like during the day or night, and usually I go for night, so that's kind of like, what? Now, I don't know exactly if I prefer the night or day music, because I honestly didn't listen to all the day and night music for every like location and level, blah blah blah, whatever. But like, yeah, what? Different music during day and night, so there's a possibility that if you do all the missions at night, you may miss out some of the day music. Like, yo, that's what I'm saying. This soundtrack is also insanely massive. So here I ran to this camp to rescue a prisoner, and you pretty much just run all around it until you get to this point, and boom, there's a prisoner right there. And since I have D-Dog, I pretty much just run around until I get to this point, and now I can just sniff out the prisoner, and there he is. I knocked that guy out there, and I forget if there was a problem in exiting this building or not. I don't know, I guess we'll have to wait to see. Okay, nah, I guess I'll just walk around the building and I'll be good enough. So yeah, we have our prisoner. That's one side objective down. But yeah, like Exfiltrate the Hot Zone has a really great like stealthy vibe to it, and it just fits the game really, really well. And I really like when it pops up. In fact, I'm pretty sure it pops up sometimes during this video, so you'll have a chance to hear it during gameplay, though I may or may not be talking during that section of gameplay, so I don't know, just let's hope that maybe I'll stay silent for a portion of it so you can hear it, because I do know a certain mission where it plays, so I'll just keep that in mind. But yeah. Yeah, so like the main composer for the game, I believe, is Ludwig Forcell. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but yeah. So apparently he's a bit of a new guy in the scene, and this may be one of his first projects, though I'm completely uninformed in that. I have not looked at the wiki article. But yeah, I don't know. I'd say like he did a pretty good job here. However, well, I'll get to that however later, but not in the next video, in this video. Don't worry about it. You will be hearing my thoughts on this in this current 3 hours and 54-minute video. But I'm just going to talk about something else real quick. So yeah, Ludwig Forcell isn't the only person composing music in this game, because like, I don't know, Justin Burnett, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is also like on the case, producing music and all that, and he worked on, wait, hold up. Yeah, okay, he's worked on a few tracks, but I'm pretty sure Justin Burnett, like his main contribution, I mean, besides a lot of tracks, is the Sahelanthropus theme. Though I may be wrong on that, but yeah, the Sahelanthropus theme is like the intense. I love it. I love like the sneaky version that shows up when you first meet it in Hellbound, and like the way it gets way more intense when you actually finally get to fight it for real. And I will be fighting the Sahelanthropus in this video. So yeah, after you get the prisoner, you run to this section, because this is the part with all the soldiers, and also the part which you have to listen to a certain conversation. So I'm just going to sneak my way all the way over here until I can actually hear the conversation. And thankfully, I'm just in time that they haven't started it yet, or at least I hope they haven't started it yet. Because I don't know, it's kind of weird. They're just kind of standing there, not doing anything. So maybe they're either waiting for someone to show up, or, oh yeah, they're waiting for the person I marked. This guy is a new guy, which I just marked, but there's like someone else which I'm just waiting on. So yeah, we're just kind of waiting on that guy. But yeah, another song. So yeah, Code Talker's theme, like, has all these great beeps and boops. That's all I wrote in my notes. But like, I don't know, believe me, the Code Talker theme has a lot of great beeps and boops. Believe me on that one. Go check that one out. And like the metallic Archaea song, like, I don't know, there's like this motif throughout the music which is different from the Ground Zeroes motif, where it's like bam, 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 bam. This one is more like dun, 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 and it keeps popping up in like a lot of the songs, but it's really noticeable in the metallic Archaea song, because it stands out so much in that song, because like, it's a boss fight, it's really intense, and it's just a really great boss theme. I don't know, it was really awesome. I don't know how to describe this music beyond it was really awesome, and it has the dun, 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 like part. But yeah, so here I'm just waiting for them to start the conversation. There really isn't much to do here. I'm just waiting for the guy to show up. And oh yeah, so there's this one theme that starts like when you start the Skullface mission, you know, aka OKB0, when you're gonna infiltrate that area. Like when you're starting, I believe this like theme shows up in like the first cutscene of the Skullface mission where the helicopters are going overhead. I don't know, like I'm mentioning like this theme in particular because I don't know exactly what it's called. I think the theme is called OKB0, because like this theme brings back like kind of the main motifs from the song that plays when you complete a mission, and I think that's like really awesome. Like, you know, when you're on the helicopter and like there's like da-na-na, like it's playing here too, but now it's like, you know, it's like the final mission of chapter 1, so like they're bringing back that climactic like mission complete like song, but you haven't completed the mission yet. It's like, yo, what's gonna happen, what's gonna go. Like, it's a really great reuse of motifs, or maybe it's the same song, I don't know, but I think it's awesome. Yeah. And also, I mean, I think I mentioned it before that like the music is edited really well inside this game. Just the way it's timed to like your objectives, like, you know, whenever you get on the horse, there's like the little drums, you know, like stuff like that. This game has great sound design. To be fair, I mean, Metal Gear honestly has always had great sound design. Like this game, absolutely great sound design. Yeah, I hope my pronunciation is clear enough that you understand it. Yeah. Anyways, you may be wondering, why am I charging this electrical weapon? Well, if you haven't played the game, or if you played the game and never used the stun arm, because believe me, that is possible, because I have spent 100 hours without ever using this weapon. Like, in my first playthrough in, 2014, 2015, I never used the stun arm, because frankly, I never understood it. But now, like, I've seen the ways other people have used it, so I decided, hey, I'm just gonna... It's really useful for this mission. So yeah, once they're done with their little conversation, just shock the entire area, and that will take out most enemies. And the ones which aren't taken out, you can just pretty much pick them off with like your tranquilizer sniper rifle or your pistol. Though to be fair, if you don't have a tranquilizer sniper rifle, I'm sorry, but you can still use the pistol. And also D-Dog. D-Dog is missable though, because I actually missed him on my first 90 hours of playtime, which just, I guess, I don't know, bro. I was a different gamer back then. So yeah, what you need to do now is pretty much escort, like, you pretty much have to full-on extract kind of everyone here. Like, not technically everyone, but, like, I don't know, I have a hard time, like, differentiating between, like, the important targets and the non-important targets. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to exfiltrate every single person in here, and also just add more people to my mother base. So to be fair, there comes a point where just adding random people to mother base becomes more of a chore than, like, a positive addition. But me, I don't care. Like, the game automates like the base management stuff so much that it doesn't even matter. You can just like fire the people who suck, like just kind of auto assign everyone to like their best roles, and that should be good enough for the most part. Like, I don't know, mother base in this game is really fun and also more automated than Peace Walker, so I like it quite a bit. And also like the whole post game where you're slowly getting weapons, and then there's like the online weapons which you need to pay real money for. Oh my goodness. Man, I don't know what was going on with games in like 2015, 2016. Like, I don't know, the two games which come to mind for me are, well, The Phantom Pain and Deus Ex Mankind Divided. But like, you could pay real money to make the game easier, and I hate that, because like, these games have such, like, both of those games have such satisfying like progression systems. Like, I don't know, with Metal Gear Solid 5, with the way you constantly unlock new weaponry, but the new weaponry can be unlocked faster if you unlock more soldiers. So unlocking soldiers gets you into like, it's a nice loop of stealth gameplay out through like the main mission, side ops, you know, yada yada yada. And some side ops have certain people you can rescue, which, like, you know, add more features to mother base. And it's like, and Deus Ex Mankind Divided has this great upgrade wheel which you can like specialize in, you know, stealth, action, like. And then for some reason, like, they thought it'd be fun if you could just like automate that. Like, oh yeah, you can just have all the upgrades at once without like any specialization or grinding, or like, oh, not grinding per se. I don't think any of these games have grinding. Well, the Phantom Pain maybe to get more members, but Deus Ex Mankind Divided does not have more grinding. I believe. Okay, so yeah, I think once you like pretty much full-on everyone, like the hot zone will become really small, so you can just run to that hot zone and get out of there. But yeah, like why did Square Enix have to add like real money to Deus Ex Mankind Divided? It's a single player game. Like, keep your hands off of it. Like, Deus Ex Mankind Divided is such a great game, but I know people have been turned off by it because of its like shitty, like, you know, microtransactions. Like, why? The game isn't even designed to make microtransactions viable. Like, the game is so much fun, just like slowly upgrading your character throughout that. You know, like getting new skills and all that. Like, New Game Plus is honestly a little boring when you have everything, because like that nice flow of getting new upgrades is just kind of gone. And then for like Metal Gear Solid 5, like, it is kind of designed in a sneaky way for like the FOB stuff, because like, you know, you need to have the best equipment, but when the best equipment takes like 24 hours unless you pay real money to get certain coins, it's kind of like, you know, at one point someone's gonna be convinced to pay real money. Someone's going to be convinced to pay real money. However, in the modern day, you get like MB coins just randomly. I don't think that used to be the case, but like, I just have a huge stockpile of MB coins. So stuff which like they would force me to pay money for, like I already have MB coins and I got them for free over time. So it's like, okay. So it hasn't been a big issue for me. So I've been able to unlock some pretty high level weaponry, though. None of it, I will not be using any of it in this video, but I unlocked the rocket launcher which can bolt on people, but I was kind of nervous about using it. Anyways, I am going to describe the objectives for this mission in particular. So let me just look that up real quick. So this is mission 20, Voices. Now this is a pretty story heavy mission. Yeah, definitely a very story heavy mission, so that's very nice to see in this game. So your primary objective is to locate and extract Shabani, which is the leader of the child soldiers which you rescued in a previous mission. And the secondary objective is to successfully hit the flying boy with an attack. The flying boy, Psycho Mantis, yeah. Fight off the man on fire. Yeah, you'll be fighting him in this mission. pinpoint the route to Nungva Industrial Zone from an intel file, so you have to go to a file and press Y and see that cool little animation. You have to extract an African wild dog near the NIZ, like West Guard post. It'll be easy. Like, he'll pretty much be right in your path. And you have to listen to the conversation about the bodies at Munoko na Nyoka Station. Now, this secondary objective says I have to listen to one conversation, but I listened to multiple conversations throughout this mission, and but this is another one of those missions we have to wait a long ass time for people to get into play so you can hear a certain conversation. So yeah, be ready for that, and I'm ready for that because I play music from Yakuza when those moments happen, when they get like really egregious. Now here I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I think I'm doing another thing where I parallel the environment so I can get like a drop in a certain place. I think it's like I'm trying to enter a certain tent. Oh yeah, it's like a tent that's kind of away from everyone else. Like that's where the intel file is, and yeah, there it is. It's really nice that like the intel file is just in a tent that really isn't being guarded by anyone, at least during nighttime. Though I forget if this mission you can control day or night. Yeah, you can. I think you control the time of day during this mission. Because on certain missions you can't. Though to be fair, the only missions so far which you haven't been able to control the time of day is like the first mission in Afghanistan and the first mission in Africa, which is just kind of, it's a neat thing, which makes those intro missions very memorable. And to be fair, the intro missions in this game for like both areas are probably some of the best missions in the game. So, you know, very nice, very nice. So yeah, I think I'll get back to talking about music. So now the song called Angering Mantis has a section where they make your ears ring in a super annoying fashion. I kind of hate that, so basically that song's not that good. And Sins of the Father, you know, what a great track. I don't know, just like Heaven's Divide, just like Calling to the Night, just like, you know, all these vocal songs, like the way it like perfectly captures like, you know, the story of the game with its lyrics, you know, it's like vibes, its tone, like, you know, Donna Burke is an amazing singer, like, yo, let's go. And this game uses it in the worst way possible. Like, it's one thing to only have it for credits, but then to like use it in the scene and making that scene really goofy, the Jeep ride with like Skullface, and oh, that's Jeep ride with Skullface. I'll talk more about it later, but it's so bad. And like the way they use Sins of the Father is just really goofy. More on that later in this video. So yeah, besides that song, let me just move on to there. So yeah, like I mentioned before, like there is an extended soundtrack. Yeah, I believe right now I marked an area to go run over there because that's where I'm going to listen to the next conversation. Yeah, because I have a feeling that the final conversation may have a chance of not happening if you don't listen to all the conversations before that. So I don't know, just word to the wise, you might as well do them all. But maybe you don't have to do them all. And like I don't know, this like the final conversation of this mission in particular has some very weird parameters. Like it has a tendency to like get marked. I don't know, whenever you complete an objective, like that objective gets marked. Like, okay, oh, you did this. That sometimes happens when like at the very start of like the final conversation. So there is a possibility you don't actually have to listen to the full final conversation. You only have to hear like the beginning of it, but it's like luck based. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Very glitchy stuff. Listening to conversations is a objective that keeps happening, and I think they made it optional just because it is like so weird and buggy a lot of the times. It's like, bro, you gotta work on that. Yeah, once you reach like this part right here, like this post with 2 guards, I believe now is a good time to kind of stop and wait for the dude who we're tailing to show up, because he's going to have a conversation with these 2 guards here. And if you miss it, I think it might affect your, like, the final conversation. But I'm just not sure how or why or yada yada. Yeah. So yeah, like I mentioned, there is a extended soundtrack, and there are more people which worked on that. So like, I don't know, I feel like I'm being maybe a little too nice to the Phantom Pain soundtrack, just because, like, I have been, like, pretty mean to, like, other stealth games, which I've changed up their soundtrack style, like with Splinter Cell Conviction, because I had talked about how that game's soundtrack really does not compare at all to, like, Chaos Theory's soundtrack, because Chaos Theory's soundtrack is amazing. I mean, watch my Chaos Theory video and my Splinter Cell Conviction video for more info on that. I have no damage both of those games. Yes. But yeah, like, I don't know, like I maybe I'm wrong, but I feel, yeah, here I'm playing the cabaret music from Yakuza 0, very nice, very jazzy. It's yes, to wait for this dude to show up. Yeah, this is the mission, this is the part where like the dude takes forever to show up. Like it takes over 4 minutes or maybe about 4 minutes, I don't know, something like that. But it's insane how long this takes. So I just brought this nice music here for those people watching the no commentary, just have something new to listen to, though it still is asking a lot for us to wait this long. Though this sky does look very nice. I don't know, the stars are very faint, but they're there. You got this nice tree, the greens, and yeah, but yeah, like I was saying. So like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I feel like the Phantom Pain soundtrack is more memorable and like out there than Conviction's tracks most of the time. But to be fair, Conviction did have the 1 or 2 like good tracks. You know, watch my Conviction video for more info on that. But yeah, I don't know. Like I mentioned before, the Phantom Pain soundtrack has all these like little weird touches that I think make it a little more unique than you would think it would be. Excuse me. So yeah. Akihiro Honda also worked on some tracks, like the Start of a Journey, which is an insanely banger track. And it has the vocals from Sins of the Father in parts of it, so like, yeah, just like that track, the Start of the Journey, another really standout track in the Phantom Pain's catalog. And now that I'm listening to the extended soundtrack, I'm like, I mean, I don't know, I was listening to like the original soundtrack and I'm like, this is all very memorable. But then once I popped in the extended soundtrack, I started to get a little bored of the tracks. Cause I don't know, I mean, like this game for the most part has a lot of music which is more there to fit a tone than to stand out. Like it's not really trying to stand out as like memorable music all the time, but that's not to say that Lugwood here can't compose a banger or two, because he absolutely can. It's just that sometimes the music is more there to indicate tone, indicate like, you know, gameplay, like whether you're in alert mode, whether you're in caution mode, you know, yada yada. And sometimes it's just there for cutscenes, and sometimes during cutscenes he'll compose the music in a way where like certain songs will just have nothing going on in the middle. Like the Mission 5046, like that final twist, like the mirror and stuff, like, you know, the Beneath the Mirror song. Like the first half of that, nothing happens in the song. It's very faint, it's very vague, it's honestly really boring. But then, you know, once you get to that final section, it sounds awesome. But like before that, not much is happening because, well, in the cutscene, like it's more about the cutscene than the actual music. But the music track is composed to match the tone of the cutscene and all that. But the music only really comes into its own at like the very end of that cutscene, like, you know, that final like reveal cutscene. So it's just kind of like, aw, some of the music can kind of fall into that territory, and it's pretty sad. But yeah, so like now that the extended soundtrack has more of this game's music that plays in more of it, now it's just kind of like, oh, I was trying to get a little bored, so I kind of couldn't really finish the entire soundtrack. But to be fair, I am kind of in a bit of a rush, so that's also another reason why I haven't been able to finish the entire soundtrack. Now this song you're hearing right here, this is Interplanetary Spark. It's like a sub-story song that plays in Yakuza 0 when you do the cabaret side story with Majima. And if you want more information on that, watch my Yakuza 0 story summary. Yes, I will be plugging all my content during these Phantom Pain videos. However, this dude is going to show up before this song finishes, so you're not going to be able to listen to the entire song. But I don't know. You can form an opinion from what I'm playing right now there. I don't know, man. I'm talking over it, so maybe you can't. When you're playing music through the cassette tape in this game, it is louder than most of the other sounds in this game. Just I don't know, because if you wanted to listen to some of the story cassette tapes and some of those like info dump cassette tapes, I mean, it'd have to be louder than the stuff you're hearing in games, so you can actually hear the words and stuff if you don't have subtitles or whatnot. Yeah. So yeah. Moving on. Oh, I already talked about behind the mirror. So yeah, there's our boy here. He's going to talk. Oh yeah, in fact, when they're talking, I think I'm going to stop talking. But yeah. Occupying Forces is kind of whatever song. I don't know. It's kind of like what I was worried the Phantom Pain soundtrack was gonna be. Just a lot of kind of cinematic music that's just kind of boring. Fighting for the Future is, you know, it's nice. And well, the Diamond Campaign is maybe a little overhyped as like a combat theme. I think it gets a little samey, but it is good. Don't get me wrong. Like the Diamond Campaign is a song that can barely appear, but it is good. Just maybe a little overrated for me.
Sy skof is verby en ons het 'n tekort aan mannekrag.
Verstaan. Waarna toe gaan ek?
Die wagpos voor die tonnel. Wanneer jy by die rivieroeverwagpos kom, slaan koers die woud in.
Reg.
Hou jou oë oop. Die digte mis verdamp drink nooit. Dan's daar die stories oor hulle bose geeste. Duiwels wat fluister en vloek en wie weet wat als. Die laaste ou, hy's by die tonnel en kyk. Wees dit versigtig. Gaan nou.
Ja, meneer.
So yeah, I like just another conversation, which kind of like foreshadows what's to come pretty nicely. But yeah, Diamond Campaign, it's a certain song that can play during, I believe, main ops 29, 28, but only during like an action portion. And to be fair, since I'm trying to do like a stealthy run here, I don't always enter action during that one portion where that song can play. So it's just kind of like, and also if you play the mission a certain way, you're just gonna miss that entire song completely. So it's very sad. Though I'm not the biggest fan of Diamond Campaign, it is a good like battle theme, but maybe not the best for me. I don't know. So yeah, now that we've finished listening to that conversation, there's gonna be a dog up ahead, and we're going to knock him out and pretty much add him to our arsenal. Pretty much like getting one of these hyena dogs. I forgot what they were called. It is one of the objectives, but there's also going to be enemies up ahead, but I'm going to clear them out because none of the enemies here, I believe, yeah, I believe that none of the enemies like in this area at this point are the ones which like this dude is going to talk to. Like there is like up ahead, there's going to be enemies which I'm not going to touch because like this dude needs to talk to like one of the enemies up ahead. But in this area, like exactly, I can pretty much knock out every single person. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do. And now we've reached this dog and it's out. It reminds me, I don't know the name of the man who is going to talk with people, but that's who he is. The name of the man, the dude who is going to talk with people, he walks very slowly. So if you like pretty much get an advantage on him, like just terrain wise, you can pretty much just not take your time per se. You still need to, have some sort of like quickness to defeating these guys. And now these guys, I believe, are shooting at a scarecrow just because I guess they're bored or practicing. Or maybe they're shooting birds or one of the wild dogs, because I don't know why they're shooting, frankly, but it's a nice way to scare the player. Because like, whoa, why are they shooting? So yeah, there's the tranquilizer dart I shot into that one guy took an effect after I knocked out this guy. Very weird. And now the other guy, he's so far away that am I gonna run at him? Yeah, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna do the epic punch. Boom. So yeah, even if you don't have reflex mode on, like as long as you have enough, as long as you take him out immediately, then you can avoid an alert phase. It's like a 1 to 2 second like wait, maybe like 3 seconds. But don't get too lenient with it because it is a very short amount of time. Now there's a doggy over there, but I'm going to use my rocket punch to just punch the dog super hard. Look at this right now. Yeah, so that dog's knocked out. However, I mentioned it in my previous video, but whenever you knock out one of these, whenever you knock anyone out with the rocket punch, you have to make sure to like just deal with that enemy immediately. Like just full-on extract them immediately because they're gonna wake up pretty fast from that punch. Like the rocket punch does not leave people stunned for very long. Though to be fair, I think that's just something with the stun state in general. Like it does not leave people stunned for long. You either have to put them to sleep or do something else to keep them stunned longer. Though to be fair, the thing which keeps any enemy stunned longer is just being held up, and I did mention that in my previous video as well. So now this is the part where you have to do some sneaking. You do not want to touch these guys because one of these guys is going to talk with the guy who's coming up. So like I'm going to sneak past this guy. Well, actually, I may knock this guy out because this guy's kind of a troublesome guy. He's just standing right there. He's looking right at me, and that guy's far enough away that it doesn't matter. So yeah, he's not going to talk with that guy, so I can take him out, but then I have to full-time extract them. I have to like do something else. Oh no, but if I full-time extract him here, like that guy's going to hear me, so I'm going to find a way to do it because like, I do not want this guy waking up. And also, if I leave him in the middle of the road, the guy who's coming up this hill is going to notice. Now, hopefully, I did not just disrupt anyone. There we go. I did not disrupt anyone. That is very nice. So, yeah. So, there really isn't that much to say now. I'm just going to sneak up to a nice listening point. Then once I'm done listening, I think I'm going to take them out. Or I might not. Who knows? So, here, I guess I might as well talk about the music. Or maybe finish up my thoughts about the music. Who knows? So yeah, Shining Lights Even in Death, like that song has a really great triumphant section at a certain point, and like the entire ending portion sounds beautiful, but the rest of it is kind of snoozy. Though to be fair, it makes sense because it's more a cutscene song than anything. But like those like very exact portions sound amazing. And the song called "A Phantom Pain" is a fantastic theme song for the game. But man, why does its inclusion in like the titular Phantom Pain game feel like more of an Easter egg than like, you know, the main theme of the game, which it kind of is the main theme of the game besides Sins of the Father. Like it like encapsulates like a lot of like the themes and stuff and like the ideas behind the game. And to be fair, maybe I should explain that further, but I'm not very good at that. It just kind of it has that vibe. Cause I don't like the way like talks about Phantom, you know, like about the other person. It's kind of like a drill into like the mindset of Venom Snake. And honestly, a lot of the soundtrack in The Phantom Pain is kind of doing that, where the lyrics of songs is kind of like explaining a character's motives or emotions during the game. It's really interesting. I like it. Like Quiet Steam is absolutely that. Honestly, like Quiet Steam does a better job explaining like her story than her actual story does. Like it's like whoa, wait, that's what Quiet Story was supposed to be about? It's too bad the game did a really bad job with it. Like, alright. But yeah, I'm really sad that like this main theme wasn't used in a cooler way, maybe during the credits of sorts. Maybe it was used during the credits at one point, but it's just kind of like, oh, here's the song you can listen to on a cassette tape, and that's all it is. And it's like, aw, come on, man. It's like, oh yeah, these dudes are talking.
Meer om die mense te bevry. Daai tydstip was ek aan diens by die stasie en ek het die trok gestop. Ek het nie geweet wat om te doen. En rapporteer aan bevel. Voor ek geweet het wat gaan die span op gedag net daar en dan geskiet. Verbrand die hele vragmotor en almal binne en alles is weg. Die was nie. Wat maak dit saak? Wees op jou en bly reg.
There was another family shot to death.
So yeah, they're done talking, and I'm gonna use the rocket punch to knock out both of them. Very nice. However, if you may have noticed that the dude talking the radio is the same dude talking. Oh yeah, I forgot to take out this guy, but he's right there, so I can just, I'll just teleport him off the bed there. But yeah, you might notice that the radio dude here is also the same radio dude from PT, the Silent Hill like the teaser game, which got canceled by Konami because apparently Kojima was not supposed to make that game. So like Konami got really mad at him for that, and that dude just woke up from like the rocket punch. But I held him up with the rocket punch thing, so I can just, you know, Fulton extract him like that. But yeah, there's a really interesting history with PT, and I don't own it anymore. However, I do own an original PS4 console, so apparently if I bought it before in the past, there might be a way to re-download it, but I have zero clue, and I'm just kind of sad that I don't have it anymore. I may have the save data, but I don't have the original game, and I honestly don't know why I got rid of it. Maybe it was something weird when I was moving like PS4s or something. I don't know, there's something like that. I'm really sad that PT's gone. But yeah, like I'm not very optimistic about Kojima making a Silent Hill game, but PT was cool for what it was, and like in retrospect, there's a lot of really clever things he does. And honestly, like in retrospect, PT is a lot more standalone than I thought it would be, but mostly just for like meta stuff about like how Konami kind of like treated him like shit, and also like his thoughts on that, yada yada, you know, whatever. Like there's a lot of great videos on PT which kind of go further into what the hell it was, whatever it was about. Though to be fair, I mean, I do recommend, oh yeah, watch this video. Sometimes you gotta experience things for yourself. However, with PT you can't unless you already own it, so it's like, ah, you could watch a walkthrough. That's such a cruel fate. It's like, oh yeah, we can watch a walkthrough this game, which they just decided to randomly delete forever from the store. Like, what? Like, Konami's always gonna suck for that one. I mean, Konami also sucks for other reasons, but like, why do they gotta do that? I mean, to be fair, it's mostly because like that game was kind of a big fuck you, like Kojima's fuck you to Konami, in a lot of metaphorical ways. So, you know, I guess Konami didn't want to let that leave that as it was, so they just fought back, they deleted it, but then they got a lot of backlash over it. And now apparently there's going to be a new Silent Hills project in the works, and it's going to suck because everything after 4 has sucked ass. Like, I don't know, to be fair, I haven't played the games after 4, so, you know, maybe I could be criticized for that, but like, I don't have any hope for those games. It's a pretty universal truth at this point that like the games after Silent Hill 4 are all kind of doo-doo ass pee-pee caca. And really, there's no point in making a new Silent Hill game because like all the original team members which made those games are all scattered to the winds in different teams, and it's just like there's no point in it unless you bring back one of the original directors. And no, bringing back Akira Yamaoka isn't enough. Like, that dude's compositions are like, they're not gonna make a Silent Hill game. You feel me? Like, yeah, his music is absolutely fantastic, but Silent Hill was about a lot more than just the music. And that's just not gonna be there if it's just Akira Yamaoka and then a bunch of new guys who make a really like bad horror game. Anyways, so this boss fight, it's honestly reminds me a lot of the Screaming Mantis fight in Metal Gear Solid 4, but a little more complex, but also a little easier. So like you start off the man like on fire boss fight by running away from him, and then you pretty much run to this water tower. He'll teleport to you like at some point. Watch out not to get hit by fire. Though to be fair, if you get caught on fire, it doesn't count as a hit or damage. But there's certain fire attacks which will count as hit, as a hit. And then once like then you position yourself when like the fire dude does an attack that he'll destroy the water tower. And then once he destroys the water tower, activate like night vision so you can see Psycho Mantis for longer. And then once you see Psycho Mantis, just keep shooting at Psycho. See, I caught on fire, but it's not gonna count. It's not gonna count as a hit. But yeah, like once you see Psycho Mantis floating around, just keep shooting at Psycho Mantis, and then sooner or later, like when I say sooner or later, I mean like right now. Well, I mean shooting him right now. He's going to go away after a while, but you have to keep shooting him. Now there are other ways to do it, other easier ways. Like if you upgraded your supply drop. Yeah, if you upgraded your supply drop to be really fast, you could just drop a supply drop like thing on top of Psycho Mantis. But when I did it, mine was too slow, so I'm going with the old shooting thing. And the old shooting thing, if you're fast enough, it works to after 2 water towers. And thankfully, there are only 2 water towers in the game, so it's a really good thing that it works after only 2. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like an easier, but also maybe a little more complicated version of a Screaming Mantis. Because I don't know. Honestly, it's kind of about the same, but you know, easier because you don't have a bunch of enemies around you swarming you with bullets. It's just like a 1v1 fight, which, you know, makes it a little less frustrating than the Screaming Mantis fight, but it's also about as shallow as the Screaming Mantis fight because it's like, alright, you shoot the little Mantis dude. Well, to be fair, there's other ways to take down the man on fire, but why not take him down with like by shooting the little Screaming Mantis dude? And to be fair, one of the extra objectives is shoot the little Screaming Mantis dude. Oh yeah, by the way, this mission, like the previous mission, I repeated like 1, 2, 3 times. Like I retried it a lot of times. I still got that S rank. Like I was retrying like that fireman fight because, you know, I did say that it's pretty shallow, though it can be easy to get hit sometimes, or it can be easy to screw up. The thing I did where like after 2 water towers, I still haven't taken Mantis down, so that's kind of a shame. Also, I did use Quiet during that mission, but she barely did anything, so that's kind of sad. Though my bond with her is really low, so that's also part of it. Anyways, I'm going to explain what you do in this mission, which is the war economy. Oh, this one's really complicated, and by complicated, it's another mission. We have to listen to conversations and wait around a lot. So your primary objective is identify the arms dealer, identify the CFA official, eliminate the CFA official, but the secondary objectives are extract the CFA official, extract the arms dealer, listen to all conversations between the CFA official and the arms dealer, secure the blueprints the gunship is carrying, and extract the materials container inside the Nova Braga airport hangar. There is a lot going on here, but we're gonna start off by driving. No more running. Though I'll be running at some point in like the next couple missions, but right now, since this area is really far away, I'm going to drive. And also, like the only empty space in this area is just, well, this, because we're pretty much heading to like one huge outpost, which is just the airport. That's pretty much the entire level. But you know, we have this jeep here to kind of shorten the distance between like the empty terrain before we reach like the actual level of this area. And there is an actual level, and it is quite big. But what we're gonna do is we're going to infiltrate it from like the back. So we're gonna go we're pretty much going to go through a back door, which pretty much allows us to just jump into the place. Though to be fair, you can't exactly like exit the same way you enter this place, at least the way I'm doing it. So just keep that in mind and like keep a second exit available. Keep like an exit plan available, because I did not have an exit plan available because I kind of screwed up the exit plan I was going to go with. But yeah, so once you reach this part here, you can pretty much abandon your jeep. You're not really going to need it anymore. And you can enter through here, though you cannot exit through here. Keep that in mind. Find another way to exit the level. Now you can run here, but then coming up we're going to get to a point where a camera can see. Yeah, just keep running around here, but there's gonna come a point. Oh yeah, by the way, that hangar has the materials you have to extract. However, extracting containers with materials in it is always a risky business because like once you right here, there's gonna be a camera on the left side and also a soldier approaching. So now I'm gonna be a little sneaky. However, I'm doing some dolphin dives just to kind of save time, so I don't have to crawl all the way through. But yeah, like inside that building is where we're going to begin listening to all the conversations. And to be fair, taking control and command of like that whole building over there is pretty much how we're going to listen to every single conversation in this level. Because it's pretty much just listen to a conversation inside that building, and then listen to a conversation outside of that building using the intel scope, and then listen to another conversation outside this building on like the other side using the intel scope, and then they're going to return to this building to have a conversation inside. You listen to that, and then those are all the conversations. Then you extract the dude, and then it's over. So that's what you have to do. But this is one mission which you cannot alert any of the enemies. Like, you need to perfect stealth this without any like suspicions arising until you finish all the conversations, which is pretty much nearly this entire mission. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Also, I will say I do have some pretty advanced equipment for this mission, because in order to do all the objectives for this mission, you need this advanced equipment. But you can only get this equipment after finishing mission 31, so you can only do all the objectives in this mission after mission 31. It's the wormhole Fulton. So pretty much what the wormhole Fulton lets you do is you can pretty much extract anyone 100%, whether they're in a building, whether it's rain. It's always 100% because it pretty much just sucks them into like a wormhole instead of just sucking them into the air. It's a very funny thing, and it makes pretty much extracting stuff a lot easier. Especially since I can just extract these two dudes in the building. And also, like, I'm waiting for a conversation to happen, but it's taking so long that I'm able to, like, assign people to outer ops. Like, what? And I can also, like, choose which music to listen to while waiting for this. Like, look at how long I'm taking to find something to listen to. And here, I'm just listening to the credits music again because it's not gonna take too long for this guy to show up now. But before then, I could spend so much time messing with my menus. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, here's just some sick, nice music.
Looks like the arms dealer's chopper is gonna patrol for the security forces. Make sure you don't get spotted from above.
Oh yeah, since we fought the man on fire, why is Vulcan in this game? Like, what's the actual lore reason with that? I don't know. I'm assuming that maybe there's like some tape in chapter 2 that will explain it, but I don't like that. I don't know, I don't like them bringing back Vulcan. Like, I don't know, every time that they bring back an old character into, like, the main story, it's kind of underwhelming. Like, same thing with Psycho Mantis, same thing with Eli. But to be fair, Eli's a very special case because he's, like, a character which like, had the potential to, like, have an interesting story in the game, but they kind of squander it by just adhering too much, like, his tropey personality in a sense. Like, oh, yeah, he was standoffish, you know, like, he did stuff. Well, we're just gonna mostly do that. Like, he hated people in the first game, so we're just gonna do more of that in this game. It's like, oh, I wish they did a little something more with it. So yeah, here I'm going to pretty much get behind this, pretty much get up here, crawl, because there's gonna be a dude behind me. But if I'm in this position, he's not gonna see me. And also they're talking, so I'm not gonna talk.
Nou het 'n klomp huursoldaat-honde van ons te hore gekom. Spooke van 'n dooie era.
Meneer, ek het gehoor dat 'n man by die olieveld die Big Boss was. Die legendariese huursoldaat. Iemand het my vertel dat ons teen iemand soos hy te staan sal kom. Ons kontrak is slegs gespesialiseer op ons fasiliteite beskerm vir plaaslike bevolking en militante faksies. Beskerming teen PF's gerigsteen met moderne tegnologie is 'n heel ander affære.
Ek het genoeg hoor. Vereers het ons 'n inspeksie om af te handel. Wys my die plek.
Begryp. Kom ons begin by die suidelike hek. Stap die kant toe.
He said something about Saner. It was Saner behind the Mathinda oil field incident.
So yeah, we're actually going to follow these two dudes like to where they're going. However, like we're pretty much only going to go outside the building, and then once we go outside the building, we're going to take out pretty much everyone like above us. And we're not going to Fulton anyone because like Fultoning people like makes too much noise. Instead, I believe I'm going to I made that dog wait. Look at the little like hop that dog did. Isn't he so cool? Isn't D-Dog so cool? Yeah. But yeah, we're just gonna slowly make our way out there. We want to make sure that these two guys don't see us or get even suspicious of us. I don't want to make any noise with the door. Just slowly walking out there. And thankfully their lines of sight is just really funny. So yeah, here. Oh yeah, whenever you like do a dive, when you're on the stairs, it just sends you all the way up the stairs, and I think that's really cool. So yeah, we're gonna take out this sniper down here. No, I'm actually gonna hold them up and tell them to get down. So yeah, that's one cool thing you can do in this game, is that once you hold someone up, you actually have an option to tell them to get down. I really miss that in Snake Eater, and I really don't like how in Peace Walker enemies just automatically got down, because I don't always want them to do that. Sometimes, like, I mean, I want them to be standing up, and sometimes like if like their enemy signal is still red, that means they're uncompliant. So when that happens, I need to actually do some CQC on them. I don't know, one awkward thing is that unlike Snake Eater, whenever you knock an enemy down, like, they're not knocked out, but whenever you knock an enemy down in this game, they're always going to be knocked out, which makes standard gameplay easier, but it kind of makes holdups a little more, like, weird. But to be fair, waking up enemies is a lot easier in this game. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, once you knock an enemy down, like, they're going to be knocked out, but you can always just kick them to wake them up again, so it's not a big deal. So you can hold them up after that, because a held up enemy will stay a held up enemy will be more useless than a stunned enemy, because a stunned enemy will have the chance of waking up, while a held up enemy is never going to get up unless the base goes on alert, and since I'm doing perfect stealth, I'm never going to let that happen. So it's just like, that dude's pretty much out of commission as long as I perfectly do this mission. So yeah, the conversation we're going to listen to is pretty much over there, and I guess I'll stop talking since they are about to start talking. So me stop, they start.
Dalk het al beter daar gesien, maar ons gaan dit regmaak in 'n jaktrap.
Baie ruimte. Dis goed. Dis die noordelike hengers, so groot soos die een.
Ja, hulle is dieselfde op weg. Dis 'n bietjie ver om te loop. Kom ons vat die kant.
Beslis.
Dis net daar.
And now they're done, so they're going to move to the very specific location. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to divide and conquer this building. And yes, divide and conquer is in my head, because I keep seeing those ads of like Risk of Rain on, maybe it's probably not that game, but some dumb mobile game. And to be fair, I have ads on my video, so you probably might have seen those ads while watching my videos. I have contributed to your knowledge of those ads by having ads on my video on YouTube. It's like, what? Like, yeah, bro, like, it's a cruel world where the YouTube ads sometimes will have something very cringy, and now I'm a part of that system, dog, bro. Like, I'm a parasite consuming the system. Cypher 0. That's not how Kaz sounds at all. Get back everything that they lost. So yeah, I believe the next conversation is going to happen around over there. And you can use the intel scope to pretty much listen in on it. It has got a nice distance to it, but not like maximum distance. And now here, never let an enemy reach for their radio in this mission, because like even once they touch their radio, it's pretty much over, and you're probably gonna have to like restart the entire mission, because like you can't really reload a checkpoint, because reloading a checkpoint just puts you outside of this base. So the game is pretty much telling you, do it over again, baby, stinky. Like, it's very mean. It's a very mean game. So yeah, here we go. They're over there, and it's a little crazy that I can listen to them from this far away, but I can't. So we're just here listening to these guys talk about war economy stuff, but we gotta wait for them to actually get in position to talk about something. Come on, get in position. What are you waiting for? Like, come on, do something. And sometimes there's like weird glitchy things where they take way too long to say anything. Or to be fair, this might actually be because I'm too far away. I might actually try to get closer. Or maybe if you focus on them too hard, like the game glitches out and you can't hear them that well. Oh, and here I'm just trying to get them in frame. And here I'm worried that I can't hear them, so I'm going to get a little closer. Yeah, I'm definitely getting closer. That might have actually been too far away. So if you're trying to do this mission, honestly, plan it out that for their third conversation, get closer. Yeah, there we go. Very nice. And I'm going to stop. D-Dog, get out of the way. Get out of the way. I have news for you. D-Dog is not going to get out of the way. So yeah, there's a nice conversation happening here, but D-Dog's going to be there too.
Ons gaan die lughawe gebruik as afsetpunt vir die verkoop van nukes.
verkoop van nukes. Jy's
Dis wat ons doen. Natuurlik is die verspreiding van kernwapens 'n kopsie, maar wat as jy 'n atoombom op enige plek kan bou sonder spesialis fasiliteite, sonder hoëgraad uraan? Dis die nuwe sakemodel. Dink net aan die markandeel wat ons kan betrek.
meneer is nie ernstig nie.
Ek is altyd ernstig. Jou verkoopsroetes gaan onvervangbaar wees. En om te dink, as jy nie 'n nukes het, sal die MPLA ook wil kry. Betaling sal uiteindelik groter mynregte wees en dies meer. Maar sedert die oliebaronne Amerika se spoorwegstelsels verlam het, sal daar altyd 'n mark vir olie wees. Benite se diamante sal nogal 'n lekker payday wees. 'n Meisie se beste vriend natuurlik. Dis PA vir jou. Elke sakker se skrouende girlfriend is deel van ons bemarkingspad. En die Afrikaner mors net al die geld. Koop wapens om mekaar uit te moer. Die regte wêreld. Kag snaaks, nee my broer.
Vertel dit vir wie ook al my vervang. Ons is oorlogmakers. Ek erken dit. Ons maak 'n lewe met bloedgeld. Sonder oorlog is my manne werkloos. Dis ons enigste uitweg, want alle ander industrie is uit die streek verdryf met koloniale magte wat wind slaan. Dis omtrent al wat ek kan hanteer.
Toe gaan die jakkals.
Het jy genoeg gesien? Dra die ondersoek verby is. Het jy my chasse toepad, soos ons saam gestem het.
So jy wil 'n kans verspeel. Die grootste besigheidskans wat ooit jou kant toe gekom het. Swart. Iemand sal wel jou plek neem. Maak nie saak wat jy doen. Party van die ekonomie sal sy gang. Nie terwyl die groot moonthede stry oor al die rykdom.
Die beheertoring is die kant.
They feed off the conflict and turn around and blame the colonial governments? Now that's hypocrisy.
So yeah, this is also the area where there's a camera, so I guess that's why I'm crawling. I might have actually been a little too brave and just jumping out there like I did. But yeah, now that I listened to their conversation, the final conversation is going to be inside this building, so we're moving back in there. And thankfully the soldiers which we've held up, they are not going to walk in the path of those soldiers, so I can, yeah, no need to move them. Like, I think they're going to be going in through this door actually, so I'm actually going to pretty much equip the box to be hidden, though there might be a better hiding spot than just equipping the box. But yeah. So once again, this is just another kind of episodic, like little standalone, self-contained journey, like self-contained story about this warmonger and this like weapon seller or whatever. And I'm just, like it could be more than just these episodic like little junctions, because I'm not feeling these episodic junctions in terms of like story. In terms of gameplay, there's like, you know, these missions are somewhat varied and fun, though I wish this mission would stop having so many optional objectives about listening to conversations. But you know, whatever, like this is a really cool area. The airport's really well designed, like gameplay wise, cool mission, cool setting. Story wise, why am I here? Why do I care? Like a lot of missions kind of do this. Though to be fair, I mean, every time I talk about how, oh, this one mission isn't that cool story wise, or oh, this game pads itself out too much, I mean, I honestly gotta like take a stance and say which missions I would remove from the game or which missions I would like modify. And honestly, I don't have a good answer for that, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have an answer for that in this video. Like there's this one section of missions, like there's this one string of missions back to back that all feel kind of samey, and maybe I'll talk about it when we get to those missions, but I don't really have a clear like structure for which missions I don't like. I mean, the missions I don't really like are like the prologue, because it's just tutorial crap, and the back up back down, because that objective is annoying as hell to S rank, and also, well, not exactly S rank, but annoying as hell to get all the objectives in. Like it's such like a stressful, like I don't like that mission. Like besides the obvious choice of the prologue, back up back down is easily my least favorite mission in the game. But to be fair, I still got a no damage chapter 2. But yeah, my least favorite mission in chapter 1 is back up back down. But the rest of them have been pretty enjoyable. So like, I mean, I just don't know. Maybe I want the game to stay the same as it is, but like there's something missing. So maybe there's something to change here and there, but like so far, I mean, it's a pretty like commendable effort, like what they've done with this game. So yeah, they're gonna come in from there. So I guess I have the box here. to hide from them, but maybe there's a better way to hide from them. Well, not really, because at one point they're going to cross in over there, and now my dog almost screwed everything up. You have to keep telling D-Dog to wait, because if you don't tell D-Dog to wait, he can do things like get in front of the enemy, then the enemy will be like, hey, shoo shoo, and that might disrupt their patterns, and that might disrupt the conversation. You just don't want to glitch out this conversation at all. You want it to happen. Thankfully, it will happen, like right now, when they start to face each other. Yeah, and they're still shooing away my dog. And now, like, the tension music has started. What? Or maybe it started because, like, this is the final conversation. Who knows?
Kom vra jy. Net nuuskierig. Ek sien. Kyk. Nie my bullshit. Jy weet iets. Dit het iets te maak met die eksperimente wat julle mense gedoen het by Zoya Madibul, waar selfs ons kan dit vasstel. Te veel gewetend wat aardige gevolge vir jou gesondheid. Jy wil luks met die pennies wat jy gespaar het. Wapen. Ag, vergeet van die warmte. Kom ons vaar. Die helikopter is op pad.
They know something about
Okay, so like that conversation is like a bit of new info about the story. It's like intrigue. All right, cool. So yeah, right now I'm going to just take these guys out silently because there is one guy downstairs which I haven't taken out yet, and I just never really had a good time to take him out. So I'm not gonna slam these two guys in the ground because that does too much. That like makes too much noise. Instead, I'm gonna choke these two guys out silently, and then we're going to Fulton like recover them because, well, I have the wormhole floop on Fulton, so I can just do it inside this building. And yeah, there was a guy checking out my position, and that was kind of sad, but I dealt with him. And now there's a guy outside. I'm also going to deal with him because the Fulton, the wormhole Fulton is still loud. So like we gotta watch out for enemies around us to not hear us or like approach our position. Though this wormhole Fulton cannot be shot down whatsoever. It's always 100%. It's always going to like carry the target. So yeah, once we pretty much get those guys, the only thing we need to do now is get the material containers, and we saved those for last because no, there's another thing. So we need to blow up this helicopter because once we do that, we can get the documents inside the helicopter, which is one of the objectives. So yeah, blow up that helicopter. Very, very nice. And there's something particular I can do. Oh yeah, I think it's something with the stun arm, which I'm going to, yeah, the stun arm. I'm going to charge it up because once I blow up the helicopter, it's going to attract a lot of attention. There's going to be a lot of people approaching this stun house area. So there's going to be a lot of people like trying to enter this area, trying to climb up this area, and they're all going to be very close to me, which now the stun arm can take them out. Look at that, like 6 people taken out, something like that. I mean, I took a lot of people very close to me, which gives me kind of a safety net to work with. Look at all those like stunned people. So now I have a little bit more to work with. And also, during those times where I wasn't talking, I let the people talk, they were playing this song I was talking about, Exfiltrate the Hot Zone, or Exfiltrate the Area. I forgot the name of it, but this is it. This is the song, and it's happening during gameplay, and it's sick. And here I did not take damage. Thank you very much. Yes, yes. And now, my idea of an escape is I'm going to go to the material containers, and I'm going to pretty much escape through there. Because I'll complete the objective of getting every single material container, and then I'll escape on the last one. However, I mess up this plan because you'll see how I mess it up. But yeah, check out this sick song in like gameplay.
Alle eenhede staan bij.
Yeah, that song is really sick. So yeah, up there in this warehouse place, that's where the material containers are, all of them. Because I don't know, if you extract them before you complete the objective, there is a chance that you'll fail the mission. I don't know, it's like, okay, once you extract this material container, it's not going to respawn until you do 5 extra missions. It's a really stupid idea, but that's just what they did. I guess it was maybe to balance out how do you collect materials, because, you know, they don't want you grinding that out. But if it's one of, like, your main optional objectives, maybe don't have the thing disappear until you do 5 missions. So here I'm supposed to grab onto it, but I keep failing the input, and now I don't have an escape plan. So now I'm just trying to see, how do I get out of here? And like, I try to leave the way I came in, but I can't do that. Like I mentioned before, I cannot exit the same place I entered this place. So now I'm just going throughout the whole perimeter of like this area, trying not to get caught by the enemies and the cameras around. And it's just like, oh my god, it's stressful, man. And I think there might be a way to blow up this gate, but I do not have any explosive weapons with me. Oh, I actually do have C4. I should have used the C4, honestly, to escape. I guess that's just my bad, my mistake. Yeah, I probably should have just used C4 to blow up through there. There's no enemies. Why didn't I think about that during, like, when I was actually playing the game, instead of just running around the perimeter here like a madman, wasting time in a mission I should have completed a lot sooner. Oh, man. That's insane. That is insane. But not as insane as how Eli kind of destroys a lot of the cool things about the Phantom Pain. Like, is kind of whack that like Eli's involvement kind of diminishes the entirety of Skullface's character. I thought that sucks. Like, the whole climax of like chapter 1. It's like, I get that like Kojima's trying to do a Phantom Pain of some sort where you're not fully satisfied by the revenge, but like, I don't think you do that by like completely destroying like whatever Skullface was going for. Like, you just do that by having that ending portion where like Huey comes in and kills him, and like that's enough to like establish that theme that, oh, revenge really isn't that satisfying. And also the stuff that happens in chapter 2, like where Skullface can still has his revenge in chapter 2, like stuff like that is a cool way to express that theme. But stuff like I don't know, Skullface having his whole monologue and then like having the giant robot just immediately kill him just because Eli was there, and he was so mad that big boss that it like Psycho Mantis was more inclined to help him than like the Vulcan. It's like, that stuff is dumb. I don't like it. Anyways, here I found my way out, though I gotta lockpick. And also when you're lockpicking, if you smash the lockpicking button harder, you will lockpick harder, though. I think the fastest lockpicking is still in Ground Zeroes. I don't think you can lockpick faster than you can in Ground Zeroes. And yeah, that completes this mission, and it's like, oh my goodness, wow. What a mission. Too many conversations. Cut that out. But this level's really cool. Wish it was used for something that wasn't about conversations.
Exfiltrated.
All right, you're out of the hot zone. No enemy forces in pursuit. Mission complete.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Amazing. Mission complete. That right there is why you're the best, boss. The one and only.
Now this mission, it has no secondary objectives. The only objective is eliminate the commander, and you can do that by killing him or by Fultoning him. However, even though this mission doesn't have any official extra objectives, I believe that like the unofficial extra objectives are to rescue all the prisoners and do perfect stealth. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to extract all 6 prisoners in this mission, and I'm going to do perfect stealth, and I'm not going to kill anyone. Now this mission can be quite tough because it's pretty much your introduction to the FOB system. To be fair, I never did the FOB stuff in this game just because, frankly, it scares me. And it's just really hard. Also, the design of Mother Base is kind of hard to deal with because like enemies can come out of nowhere and like boom, you get caught. It's like, wow, it really forces you to be sneaky. And also during this mission I cannot bring D-Dog with me, so I can't just easily spot enemies. I actually have to be careful, look around, scout, and it's very tight corridors too. So it's like, oh my goodness. And also this mission has a random element to it, so it can kind of play out in different ways. So you can't always predict enemy behavior. You always have to be on the lookout. You always have to be careful. Always like watching your 6 in a sense. Though I will say this mission is kind of a nice it's a nice like pace breaker from like all the missions in Afghanistan and Africa. It's like, now we're actually like on a base, we're on our own base, but we're sneaking around. So yeah, here the way you do this, you just kind of sneak around on like pretty much the edge of like this strut. here. I believe this is a strut. So you just sneak around this part here, and pretty much there's like the first area, which doesn't really have anything important. Then there's going to be the second area, which I believe may or may not have prisoners. Oh yeah, this guy noticed me, so I'm just going to keep crawling, and maybe if he comes a little too close, I'm going to knock him out with... Oh no, I'm just going to dolphin dive to get some distance away from him. Very nice. And honestly, a better way to approach this next section would be to take the ladder to like the lower the lower staircase of this part, because entering the next area through this main bridge may not be the best way to approach things, but it worked out okay for me since I have my nice sniper rifle here. And okay, I forget if it's the second and third area, but at one point I will be using the stun arm because it is a very useful device. Yeah, I believe this section has 3 prisoners to save, and they're kind of in the middle of the map, but there's a lot of enemies around. Thankfully the stun arm kind of clears out the entire area if you're like in the right place at the right time. So even if you can't see anyone, as long as you're pretty sneaky and also like around the middle of this area, maybe like the outer middle, you can kind of, yeah, look at that. There's a guy who saw me right there, and now I'm just going to hope he doesn't come at me right now. And there we go. I can, boom, look at that. How many tactical takedowns? How many tactical takedowns? 3, 4. Wait, how many? 5, 6. Oh, wait, just 6. Oh, all right. So yeah, I mean that should like that should be enough of a safety ticket to go check out what's going on with the prisoners. I'm actually having a little bit of trouble locating the prisoners because on other bases design can be a little confusing to navigate, just with all like the verticality and also all the confusing architecture here and there. Though it's not the most complicated area ever. Like you can deal with it. Yeah, like I mean this is pretty much just introducing the FOB missions that I did not really mess with at all. But this does have a really nice design to it. Maybe I should do the FOB missions, but to be fair, when I'm fighting against actual human players, the playing field becomes way harder. And also, my online's not the best either. So yeah, here just sniping some dudes from halfway across the map, very nice. And also, since I can't bring D-Dog on FOV missions, that scares me a lot more. Also, you can make it like your base is like insanely tough to navigate, like you know, with a bunch of cameras, with a bunch of drones, and it's just like I'm scared about that, man. I don't know how people deal with that. Like, that scares me. That scares me, man. And also, there's like a grind which Konami exploits your money for, where you there's like online weaponry, which you know it's like has better stats and all that, but it's kind of pointless in the main game, and you like it takes absurd amount of times for it to be done developing. But if you pay a little money, the weapon can be developed immediately. And to be fair, in the modern day, you get more coins like for free these days, I think. So I mean that's cool, but those coins run out eventually, and it's still very exploitative system, especially if you want to be like the best player in the FOB stuff. And also, one of the endings is like locked behind the FOB stuff. However, they also changed that in like a update or something because no one could get that secret ending because like destroying all the nukes was like actually impossible or something. So instead of having to like do any FOB stuff, instead the way you get the nuclear disarmament ending is just randomly. Like you just do a random mission and then you come back to base and then suddenly boom, the nuclear disarmament mission, which also kind of spoils the main twist of the game. Because like at the very end, Venom Snake is like, another mission, right boss? Or no, we. And I got that ending in chapter 1. Like, people are going to be so confused. Like, what do you mean, we? And what do you mean, another mission, right, boss? You can get this ending before the actual ending of the game now. So it's like, what? That's insane. That's really, really insane. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's one thing to make the ending easier to get, but it's another thing to just do that. Like, what? Nah, bro. So yeah, here I'm using night vision to better spot enemies because, I don't know, during night, enemies have a tendency to kind of camouflage into the environment. But with this night vision here, they all have nice big highlights. And now I can just snipe them all from a distance. Just kind of make climbing these buildings a lot easier. And also a lot safer. But to be fair, you're never too safe. And also, since I caused a little bit of an alert with some of the other enemies, like in the previous strut, some of the enemies are going to be grouped up around here, which is also going to make things a lot easier. In fact, I may, or no, I'm not. I was going to say I may use the rocket. No, I don't even have the rocket punch. I only have the stun punch. It'd be funny to use the rocket punch to take out those guys, but whatever. I'm not really here to fault on people because I don't have the time for that. And also, I'm never too sure if there's like an enemy nearby, so better not to risk anything. And also, just a lot of crawling here. A lot of crawling, and also looking over corners. Yada yada. Be careful, man. So thankfully, it's a good thing a lot of enemies are kind of stuffed over here. Oh wait, I am gonna fault on people. I mean, all right. Oh yeah, by the way, I should mention that I wasn't able to develop the wormhole Fulton like at first. So instead of like grinding and then doing that mission, I instead just did a bunch of other main missions until I could get the wormhole Fulton. Because it was because I made it, but then it was gonna take like 3 hours for it to be done. So instead of actually waiting those 3 hours, I instead just did all the future main missions instead of just waiting those 3 hours in order to do mission 21. So that's why I'm not using the wormhole Fulton in like these future missions. Not all of them. I mean, at some point the Fulton will come, the Fulton wormhole will come back. But right now, this is pretty much the mission I did instead of doing mission 21 because, well, I ain't gonna wait 3 hours doing nothing. Though to be fair, waiting and doing nothing, honestly, Metal Gear does do that really well. Like Metal Gear Solid 5, because there'll be times where like I'll just set a bunch of weapons to be developed and it's gonna take a really long time. But then I gotta eat dinner, man. My man's gotta eat. So I'll just leave the game running. I'll go eat dinner, then I come back and it's like boom, the weapon has either been developed or it's very close to being developed. It's like nice. So something's happening even when I'm doing absolutely nothing. I think that's a really neat thing of the game, actually. I like that. Like it adds like the post-game content. I mean, sometimes it takes way too long for weapons to be developed, but like I'm always engaged with the game, even when I'm waiting for stuff. Like, oh, weapon is gonna take a long time to develop. That's okay. I can go do another mission. It's like, oh, okay. I ran out of chicken at McDonald's. Okay, I can just go get a pizza. It's no big deal. I mean, there's always like something to do, and there's always like something new about to be done. And it's like that's what probably was so engaging about like Metal Gear Solid 5's like post-game gameplay loop. It's so addicting that way. And like this part's really scary, and I got really lucky because there's like an unmarked soldier up there, which is really close by. Like you saw him, right? He just walked by on the stairs. So I'm really scared here. Like I'm being very cautious because it's like, oh, that guy might be around. He might be around. In fact, he might come down these stairs at some point. Now that's something that really scares me. Anyways, I'm going to use a stun arm. I'm going to stun everyone, but there may be one enemy who's not stunned. Though, to be fair, if I stun the guy all the way over there, I probably stunned everyone. But be careful. But I'm pretty sure I stunned everyone. And now, you do not want to rescue the target yet. Well, by rescue, I mean like Fulton. I mean, I'm sure we're not exactly rescuing him. We actually plan on like torturing him and all that, but do not rescue him yet because once you rescue him, the mission's over. We still have to rescue these prisoners here. So yeah. Oh, I'm just gonna take the stairs. All right. I don't want to die this late into the mission, so I'm playing it pretty safe. So yeah, we're gonna rescue these final prisoners here, and then once we rescue those final prisoners here, we're going to get that guy over there, and he's gonna get what's coming to him. And that's pretty much this mission. I don't really have much more to say here. Also with the stun arm, like, oh yeah, this guy showed up. So like, even though I just like completed the mission, like that little dude could come in and screw everything up. Like imagine if like that dude actually like screwed everything up. That'd be so sad. So you have to be cautious at every single point because you never know. Unless you like perfectly know the level, but like unless you don't perfectly know the level, like you never know who's around the corner. We don't got D-Dog with us, man. It's crazy. So yeah, there we go. The mission's done.
You're going to extract him. Good thinking. We'll make him squeal till he's paid his due.
Attention hostile force. We have eliminated your commander. Escape is impossible. Lay down your weapons immediately. Surrender now. You will not be fired upon.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Mission complete, boss.
Now here's the mission where we're going to kidnap a bunch of child soldiers. However, we're going to make them not soldiers, so we're actually very epic in doing this. Now the objectives for this mission are, just let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, the White Mamba. Mission 23. So the primary objective is to extract the White Mamba. The secondary objective is to extract the prisoner being held at Massa Village, extract the White Mamba without giving him an opportunity to resist, secure the rough diamonds hidden near Massa Village, and extract 20 child soldiers. Now that final objective, I technically don't get it marked on my map, but like, dog, if you see my footage, you will see that I kidnap a lot of child soldiers. Like, I'm pretty sure I kidnapped the entire map. And like, the entire map has 20 dudes. So it's very strange that that objective did not get ticked off. I'm assuming it's just a glitch, but I'm pretty sure I got 20 child soldiers, man. What's going on here? Like, oh my goodness. Also, this mission kind of reminds me that, man, I'm really not feeling the boss fights in this game. Like, they're neat, but I guess, like, I don't know. I just don't like how you can pretty much skip all of them. And to be fair, Chapter 2 does bring back some of them, but like harder variants, and honestly, that'll fix my problems with some of the boss fights. Like, Quiet's boss fight would be pretty awesome if she didn't die in like 2 hits. But her like extreme version in Chapter 2 will fix that. But beyond that, I do quite like Quiet's boss fight. And now here I used the stun arm, but maybe a little too early. Like, I really did not need to use it at that exact point. But now I'm just going to start sniping some kids. But yeah, and like this boss fight here, Eli. So why does the mission encourage me to avoid fighting him? Like, it's a boss fight. Like, it's one of the it's like the most intricately like designed CQC fight in the game. Why is the game encouraging me to skip it through the optional objectives? Like, I mean, honestly, I probably should have like not skipped it and just screwed doing all the objectives in this mission. But you know, it is nice. It does make for a pretty easy no damage to avoid fighting him. But still, why is this game doing this? Does this mission come back in Chapter 2? Do they actually force you to fight him this time? And also, I guess this is one part why I don't like that the side ops just disappear after you're done doing them. Like, there is a side op where you actually have to fight Liquid again, and like he kind of switches up his patterns because like once you, I don't know, CQC him once, he'll actually throw like a stun grenade this time instead of whatever he does in this fight. So it's like, yo, let's go. Like, it's like a cool improved version of that fight, but at Mother Base. And then once you do it, it's gone forever. And guess what? I have already done it. That's how I know about it. And it's like, bro, what are you doing here? Like, I want to repeat those side ops. Like, why are you making a boss fight not repeatable? Like, it's just like, dude, hate that for real. Hate that. So yeah, I wasn't really talking much strategy in this mission just because I'm mostly just taking out the child soldiers. In fact, my main goal is just to clear out this entire camp. So like once I clear out this entire camp, doing all the other objectives becomes pretty easy, like collecting the diamonds, the prisoner, you know, I mean, once they're all taken out, I mean, all that really stops mattering. And yeah, also Fultoning every single one of them because I was trying to do that like 20 child soldiers objective, but for some reason it didn't mark, even though I'm pretty sure I did it. And now here I ran out of my pistol, though I still have some silencer on my sniper, I believe so, yes. And I also have the trusty stun arm, which is a very, very nice weapon. Just like, woo, woo, sneaky, fast. So yeah, let me get back to maybe another topic, like complaining about Volgin more. Though to be fair, maybe it's less complaining and more trying to understand him because like there's a lot of things I'm lost about. So yeah, there's a prisoner we have to rescue here, and if I'm correct, this prisoner is female, I think, though I don't know, we'll have to wait and see once we get there. So I don't know, there's this weird thing going on with Volgin. Like, I don't like that they brought him back from like Metal Gear Solid 3. It's like, ooh, look at this character you recognize, he's back. And it's like, oh, I didn't run out of silencer for my pistol. It was still there. Okay, cool. But it's just like, oh yeah, here's Volgin. He's from Metal Gear Solid 3. He's back because he's angry. He hates Snake. And it's like, like, if you're not really going to use a character in like the best possible fashion, why bring him back? He's basically a phantom of his old self. Oh my god, Kojima's so smart. He's so smart. Oh my god. I don't like Vulcan's inclusion in this game, even if that's like the actual reason. That's stupid. I don't like it. But yeah. And also there's like a weird thing going on with Psycho Mantis. Like what's Psycho Mantis's relationship with like Vulcan? Like, I don't know, how do they meet, and like what's this like new, like, yeah, how is Vulcan's anger still alive when like he's dead? Like, I don't know, can any dead person come back with like Psycho Mantis's like psychic abilities to like hate, if they hate people strong enough? And also Psycho Mantis is like fueled by hate now? Is that how he works? He never did that in the previous games. He was just a psychic guy. I mean, yeah, he hated a lot of people because, you know, his whole tragic backstory in Metal Gear Solid 1, but beyond that, what, his powers come from hate? Like, what, is he just like inclined to like help people who like have very strong hate? So like when someone hates someone more than someone else hates someone, like he just goes to them automatically? What? How does any of this work? And also this makes like Liquid and Psycho Mantis' relationship in future games weird. And to be fair, the same thing can be said about Ocelot, because it's just like, okay, they met as kids, and now Psycho Mantis is like, yo, this dude kind of sucks. Like, he only cares about his genes. Like, And then Ocelot, he's just teaming up with him, and Liquid doesn't know anything about him. Like Liquid doesn't know that he used to work with Big Boss or something. Like, it just makes that whole stuff weird. And also, I mean, I mentioned in the previous video about how Eli's characterization in this game really does not take advantage at all of the backstory, which like Eli keeps talking about in Metal Gear Solid 1, and Liquid keeps talking about Metal Gear Solid 1 about, you know, how he was treated like trash and all that. Like, this game doesn't lean into any of that. It just paints him as a brat. Though maybe like it could still be interpreted as Big Boss treated him like trash because, well, Big Boss kind of treated everyone like trash by forcing Venom to be Big Boss and then disappearing and on his homies like that. Like, he pretty much betrayed Cause like that. So it's like, bruh. So maybe Liquid felt betrayed by that too, but that's such a stretch, and it's not a very satisfying answer. Anyways, here we're going to use the stun arm to avoid the Liquid fight, and also to pretty much capture this outpost, I believe. Like, let's see here. I'm right next to the boat. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, outpost captured. So here I'm going to Fulton every single child, but for some reason I don't get the achievement. And I don't know, tell me if I missed someone, because I do not think I missed someone. I'm pretty sure I got everyone. So it's like, what is going on here? Like, come on, man. Like, come on. So yeah, maybe there's like some tape that actually explains what the hell Psycho Mantis and the Man on Fire are about. But I don't think I'm going to be very satisfied by it. I just do not like their inclusion in this game. Yeah, I'm trying to get all the other child soldiers before I get Liquid. Because, I don't know, once I get Liquid, like, I mean, I think the mission pretty much is over. Like, who did I miss? So yeah, there we go, that's Liquid. We got him without a fight, even though that's probably not the way to approach this fight. But hey, it's the extra objectives. You have to do them. It's like, aw. Okay. So yeah. And like, I don't know, this, like, with like the way Kojima has like re-envisioned like the Metal Gear Solid saga to be like this new epic saga beyond 4, and like with all the new prequel games, it's kind of like, you know, like the whole conflict is about Zero and stuff, but it's that stuff is never really in the limelight, which, to be fair, Zero is never really in the limelight. So it's like, okay, like, I don't know, the only info about like the super important events of like the entire series in this game are just like in some tapes. Like, Eva was the one which put Big Boss in the hospital, but we never get to see that. Like, that's strange. Like, what's going on with that? Anyways, a new mission. I think it's at this point where like the missions kind of start to feel samey until you reach the Code Talker one. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I want to go on a limb here and say that these missions are bad per se, because they were pretty fun. It's just that, I don't know, at this point I kind of like the story really doesn't matter at this point. Maybe, I don't know. But to be fair, one of the story, yeah, like it's just kind of like throwaway missions at this point. And like they don't really have that much variety beyond them, because you're just kind of, oh, we're in the big field, we're doing stuff, and it's like, okay. But honestly, they are pretty fun missions. I don't want to knock them for that, but it's just like, it's hard, man. It's hard. I have a really hard time deciding if I want to remove missions or keep missions, and yeah. But now the objectives for this mission: Main Ops 24, Close Contact. So your primary objective is to extract a male engineer and extract a female engineer. Your secondary objectives are to extract the 6 Numbian goats near Ngumba Industrial Zone, SW, guard post, that's southwest guard post. Extract 2 4WD vehicles. Extract 4 material containers from Munoko Ya Nyoka Station, northeast guard post. Pick an African peach near Nyoko Ya Nyoka Station. Extract a martial eagle near Munioka Ya Nyoka Station. And I keep mispronouncing things, I am so sorry. But yeah, I think the eagle objective, we're actually going to run up on it like right about now. Yeah, we go. The dog has already marked them, and there's 2 of them right over there. And I'm just gonna get both of them just to, you know, give the eagle, the one eagle which I do kidnap, like a little partner to stay with him and all that, little homie. So you know, I'm not gonna let them I'm not gonna separate them. I'm gonna bring them both back to Mother Base. But yeah, this mission right here. So this mission's objectives are just really weird because it's like, oh, you have to get like a flower, but you have to get it in a very specific part of this map. Like you have to get a very specific flower. Like you can't just get like the flower, because this map has multiple like places which have that same flower. But no, you have to get the flower in this location. Like it's so picky. Like it just feels really restrictive because it's just like, no, you have to get the flower in this place. You can't get it in that place. Like it feels so, like such a naggy mission. Let's just call it that. Like, bro, like if I have the what difference does it make to you if I get the flower in this place or the other place? You're not gonna know the difference. Like what, the soil, bro? It's all African soil, bro. Like what do you care? Like, it's the same flower. It's not like one's so pretty. Like, oh, I'm so pretty. Like, bro, shut up. Like, I think I'm only really mad at this objective because it's kind of hard to like memorize the exact locations where like the flower would be. Because I don't know, like I've messed up this mission a couple times just because I went the wrong way to the objective and I wasted so much time that I might as well just like restart the mission. Now, what I'm running towards now, I believe, is either a prisoner or an objective. It's probably a prisoner. Like, it's just this base right over here. But why am I trying to knock those guys out immediately? That's a little weird. I guess I'm trying to approach this objective by knocking out most of the people here? I don't know. I'm actually pretty unsure what I'm doing here.
The map has been updated.
Oh, is this one of those prisoners where... Oh, here comes the stun arm. So I guess I knocked those guys out in order to get the stun arm working. And oh, wait. Oh, wait, no. I thought that... Oh, I guess the vehicle's also there too? But I'm trying to get really, really close just to make sure I knock out mostly everyone. Oh, yeah, this mission's like kind of weird. No, I actually have no idea what I'm talking about. I barely knocked out most of the people over there, but at least I have my sniper rifle to kind of make up for any lost collateral, even though I don't even think that's a term. But whatever. Yeah, get those guys. And it's nice that I knocked them out. Oh, and actually I could have knocked them out earlier, because it was just a radio guy talking, but not the guy with the radio talking, if that makes any sense. So, this game's tapes. So, I don't know, like, I'm listening to these tapes in retrospect, at least the tapes I've collected since I've beaten Chapter 1, and, like, I don't know, the time you get the tapes, I'm sure it has, like, some really neat foreshadowing, like, the identifying the infected tape. Like, I'm listening to it in retrospect, so, like, you know, whatever. But if you listen to all the tapes the second you get them, maybe the game's doing something cool, because it's like, yo? Also, while listening to these tapes, I learned a few things, like how the reason Quiet's such a crack shot sniper is because both of her eyes are master eyes, whatever that means. Oh, I think this prisoner is like a dude who tries to run away, but this guy tries to get him, but I'm gonna stop both of these guys. So yeah, like the reason Quiet's such a crack shot sniper is because, I don't know, like the parasites allow her to have 2 master eyes or something. So it's like, alright, cool. So whenever she's sniping someone, she can focus on the target through her scope, but also use her other eye to focus on different targets from different focal lengths, which as a normal human, you apparently can't do that. So it's a yo. So there we go. Extracted that nice prisoner there, and I guess I extracted the truck there too. Is that also an objective? I don't know. Is it? I guess not. So now here I'm just going to extract pretty much everything here. I think this truck is also an objective. Oh, I needed to extract like 4 vehicles of sorts, so I don't know. I'm assuming that's one of them. I remember something how I can't extract everyone in this mission until I complete the other objectives. Like there's one objective like collecting the flour, like, and also collecting the material containers. Like that stuff is out of like the red hot zone. So if you like complete the main objective, then like the red hot zone is going to be like you won't be able to get the material containers in the area it wants you to get the material containers. These material containers don't count for it at all. Anyways, but you know what does count though? The animals around this area. So I can actually, like these animals here, I have to collect about 6 of them in order to complete that objective. And that's a weird objective. It's like, oh, go get the animals. It's, all right, guess I will. Just, you know, trying to play it safe. I don't know, usually one shot's good enough for these animals. Like it'll take like, you know, 4 seconds for them to fall asleep. But once they fall asleep, they fell asleep. You don't want to waste bullets on these. Wait, what? Man, I'm like tripping here because I swore that was like, nah, that was not a dude. It just kind of looked like a dude from far away. It's like, whoa. I'm not even that far away from my computer screen. I think I'm just sleepy because like, oh man, it's late. It's late. And like, okay, the tapes. Okay, like I mean, one like functional reason for the tapes to exist is that they can put a lot of exposition into the tapes without like putting that same exposition into the cutscenes. So they can keep the cutscenes like somewhat brief and like to the point, but still have a ton of information which you can learn about if you read the tapes or if you like, you know, listen to the tapes. So, and like, you know, sometimes like they also have a neat thing about them where they have a logical reason to be recorded. Like, I don't know, the Huey interrogation tapes. So, you know, like I understand why that would be recorded. Anyways, here for the last 2 goats, I'm going to try to punch them. But they tend to be very short, so like your punches tend to go over them. However, if you align yourself correctly, like I did right there, you can deliver a very nice, satisfying punch and just boom, just knock them out like that. Apparently, these goats can fight back and hit you, but that did not happen with me, so I'm just very happy. Look at that, my punches keep missing, but 1 point, like when I'm gonna, there we go, I just hit him right in the head. Very, very nice. I'm only doing that so I can knock them out, so I can peacefully put them into my conservation camp over at Mother Base, which really doesn't have much purpose except to look somewhat pretty, I guess. Yeah. Like the Huey interrogations kind of have a good reason to be recorded, but then sometimes there's other tapes where I'm just kind of like, yo, why is this being recorded? And that kind of just kills the drama. Or sometimes like, yo, why does Venom Snake have these tapes? How did he get this information? Like, honestly, like if they could answer that question, I think it'd make the story a lot more interesting, especially like the story of the tape. Like, it adds so much to it. So yeah, anyways, I don't think I can extract this lady yet. I have to wait until I do the other objectives, and then I extract this lady. Because once I do that, I'm pretty much out of the hot zone. That's a yeah. Also, the phrase going nuclear is actually in the game. It's just that it's in a tape called The Legendary Mercenary. And I don't think they refer to it again. To be fair, I still have more tapes to listen to, so I might be wrong on that. I'm just kind of stating a lot of like statements about the tapes, and I'm going to keep going with it. But yeah, here I believe I may or may not be running towards the place with the flower, because I don't know, it's pretty much like right in front of like this one base. In fact, it may be like a base we've already explored in a previous mission, but it's like on the top left like entrance of like the south or north entrance. I even forget about that. Like, yeah, this thing over here. And there's a prisoner over there? Or that might just be an animal. I don't know. Yeah, that's an animal. We don't need to rescue that. So, yeah, on, like, the left, if you climb, like, the mountain, there's going to be a flower there. And that's the flower the game wants you to get. No, none of the other flowers in this entire mission area. Just that location. What a picky objective. Hate that so much. Like, it's so stupid. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's just not logical at all. Like, that's just the most gamey, like... There's some adjective here which I don't know, like thing in this game. Like, just, like I just can't stand it. Like the logistics of it. Like in the context of the mission, it makes zero sense. Like the other ones make a little bit of sense listening to the conversations. Yeah, if you listen to the conversations, you'll have more info about that. Oh, extracting tanks. Yeah, that makes sense. Like the more tanks we extract, like the more advantage we have. But like, oh no, pick this exact flower from this exact location. No, it's like the exact same flower as the other flowers in the area, but no, this one, like this one, we need this one. We don't want the other African peaches. We need this one specifically. Like, shut up. Are you kidding me? I honestly shouldn't have done that objective. It's so stupid. So yeah, we're pretty much done. I'm going to extract this prisoner, and we're pretty much going to be out of here. So yeah, more like random facts about the tapes. So the word invalid, I first heard that in the stage play, The Importance of Being Earnest. And I was confused about it when I first heard about it, because like it sounds like the word invalid. But no, it's invalid. And it's more about disability than not being valid. I don't know if that word invalid is offensive now, but I have heard it again in like the tape, The Bedridden in the Factory. Oh wait, I'm going to... Why am I going there? I guess there must be some other objective I haven't completed yet. Oh, the material containers, I still need to do that. So yeah, guess what we're doing? More running around in empty space. And also I'm a little screwed just because like the area I need to go to is that enemy camp. Oh wait, no, it's like the area I need to go to is kind of like straight in front of that enemy camp. No, actually like the area I just marked may actually be the wrong area now that I'm thinking about it. I remember thinking that I had to like do a lot of running, but then there came a point where I didn't need to do a lot of running. I guess I'll just have to wait and see to see what the hell's gonna happen in this mission.
Marker removed. Marker.
It was that. Oh wait, I actually know what I did during this part. So I had zero idea where I had to go. So while I was running there, I actually went on YouTube and looked at the walkthrough I watched, and I reviewed it to see what location I actually had to visit. And thankfully, like the place I was just randomly running to waste time while I was looking up a video was like the exact right direction where like the actual correct location was going. So while I thought I was like, I was like, oh man, I'm running in like a random direction, it's gonna look really bad for the video, but it looks like I knew what I was doing to an extent. So it's like, yo, let's go. I was literally like on my phone while like with one hand I was like looking up the video on my phone. On the other hand, I was sprinting forward with like the PS4 controller. And yes, I am playing on PC with Xbox prompts with a PS4 controller. Just a whole bunch of different systems colliding and clashing together. Language, words, controllers, PS4, PS5 still out of stock and scalped, PS5, Switch Pro, Steam Deck, the Steam Deck I'm actually somewhat interested in, just that if it can run games better than my laptop, then I'd say it's a good investment, because I don't know, $600 for something which can run games better than my laptop, or at least run Yakuza 7 at 60 FPS without making it look like ass, then I'd say it's a pretty good investment for 50, 60 bucks, especially with like my huge library of games, some of them which don't run that well on my laptop. So, you know, very nice. Very nice. So yeah, here, wait, what am I doing? I'm here for material containers. Where are those material containers? Oh, they're right there. There's just a few enemies over there, so I'm going to take care of them with a nice little pistol. And yeah, I did do a new paint job with the pistol and sniper, just because, I don't know, like in my first video I didn't really mess around too much with like weapon customization, because one annoying thing about this game is that whenever you get like a higher grade version of a weapon, like the customizations you made, like say a level 3 tranquilizer, do not go over to like level 4 tranquilizer. You have to actually like redo all those like color paints, or maybe like gun model switch ups, and it's like it's annoying. It's pretty annoying. Okay, so one thing I don't like is that when you're carrying a hostage, you cannot climb these barrels, because I think it'd be really sick if you could like I don't know, like escape the hot zone while carrying a hostage, like while also fultoning these material containers. So you'll be like hanging on to like the material container Fulton balloon while also carrying a hostage, and you both escape the hot zone that way. I think that'd be nice, but it's impossible because you cannot climb the containers while carrying a hostage, and there's really no way to like throw that hostage on top of the containers. It's like, oh, come on, man, come on.
Amazing. Mission complete. That right there is why you're the best, boss. The one and only.
So here we go. Here's a new mission, and it's very short, and honestly kind of feels like a throwaway mission. Like, honestly, there's very little separating this from a side op, but there are extra objectives, so let's talk about those extra objectives. Here we go. So, oh, to be fair, there is another mission that feels more side op-y. Like, this one isn't that bad. Alright, so our primary objectives are extract the militant's XO. I don't know what that means. Extract the child soldier's commander. And then the secondary objectives are extract the prisoner who escaped Monokoya Nyoka station, extract 12 child soldiers, use a vehicle to extract the child soldier's commander and the militant's XO simultaneously, and pick a digitalis Purpupeya, I don't know how to pronounce that, Monokoya Nyoka station, northeast guard post. Yeah, I keep pronouncing that wrong. I don't know how to pronounce it. Like, Ocelot even says the word at one point, so like, I mean, I kind of know something. So okay, this mission isn't that side op-y, but however, what I do remember is that this mission's pretty short. You can like take care of like these child soldiers really fast, and like one important way to do it is to keep driving on this left side. We're about to run up against a certain prisoner we have to save, and a group of 4 child soldiers, which I'm going to take them all out simultaneously with lightning powers. But we're going to come across the child soldiers first before we come across the prisoner. The prisoner is farther away than the child soldiers, so you're better off like stunning those child soldiers first. But yeah, I brought the Jeep here because just there's no point in like running all this. And also we're actually going to need a Jeep. Well, to be fair, not exactly this Jeep, because like there's a lot of Jeeps in this level. So I only brought a Jeep just to speed up this beginning process of like running to the point where we meet up against those child soldiers. Like, yeah, there they are. And now I'm going to run up behind them and start charging up my electric weapon. Yes. And they're all so close together that I'm going to take all of them out in this one electric sword, like bungalow. What the hell does bungalow mean? I hope it's not like a bad word or something. I just looked up what bungalow means. It's a house. It's just like a certain type of house. How the hell do I even know that word? Like, how do I know how to say the word bungalow but not know what it means? When have I ever heard the word bungalow used in any sort of context? I haven't heard anyone say the word bungalow. What? Yeah, that doesn't apply at all to this situation. So yeah. That wormhole Fulton. I'm having a really hard time deciding between saying the word Fulton, like Fulton, or Fulton, Fluton. Like I'm pronouncing it so many different ways. It's hard. But yeah, bungalow. Like, what's up with that? Why did I say that word? Why did I say that word? The English language. It's like the most dominant language ever, and like it'd be so swag if there was a virus that eliminated the English language. Yeah, so yeah, here we have 8 more child soldiers. Take out one of those child soldiers is the commander, who we're not going to take out immediately because we need to complete that objective of collecting the flower. But if we collect those commanders first, well, actually, like one of the objectives is really weird. Like, oh, you have to drive off with like the commander and like the child soldiers like XO in the same truck out of like the mission zone. Like, what a weird objective. It's like, okay, I guess I can do that. And honestly, this mission is weird because it's kind of like the extra objectives are kind of forcing you to take out all the other child soldiers, like, you know, because this camp is pretty much taken up by 12 child soldiers. You know, like the 4 on the road, which I just encountered, and then there's like 4 over here, and then there's 4 over there, and it's just like that's just how it is. And then there's like the prisoner, which is the XO, which I'm assuming is like the previous commander of these child soldiers, which they have, well, pretty much put under lock and key just because they're sick of his shit or something. And yeah, there's the... Oh, I think that's just just from random prisoner I need to rescue. Like, there's like the children's XO prisoner, and then there's the... Oh no, I think it might have just been a child soldier which I just stunned. Yeah, there we go. I think that's the commander right there, and I'll just put him to sleep. And thankfully, none of these kids really wear body armor, which makes things a lot easier. And well, I guess one thing which makes this mission a little more clear is that this general, he you can't extract him with balloons. So like the vehicle is like the way to go, or the helicopter, but to complete all the objectives in this mission, you cannot choose the helicopter. So yeah, I'm kind of speed running this. Like, I routed this pretty nicely. I just took out all those kids, and then like I also got the commander. And then once I got the commander, I was able to put him immediately in the truck, and then I can immediately get this guy, put him in the truck, and now I can immediately go get the flower, because I believe while I was landing in this location on the helicopter, I actually marked the place I have to go to get that flower. It's in a pretty weird out there location, but. And then once I get the flower, I can just drive off these two off the map, and that's pretty much the whole mission. Though, to be fair, this is not the shortest mission in the game. There are missions shorter than it. Though, to be fair, like the next. What is this? I think I actually wasted a bit of time here, because I waste so much time because I actually call in a truck to come in. Oh no, what I do is that like I call in like a car to come in here, and then while we're waiting for that car to come in, I think I go and collect the flower, or do I? I think I do. Yeah, like I'm just gonna leave these guys here. I'm gonna go collect that funny flower, but like I think there's like a chance that that kid and that commander might wake. Oh, to be fair, the commander is a prisoner, so he's not gonna do anything. But if the kid wakes up, that might be a problem. But he's like asleep with like tranquilizers, though he did just get slammed out of that truck, a whole spinny thing. This is not the first time. This is not the first time that like a car has done like a full-on spin. However, this is the first time a car has done a full-on spin and never like recovered. Like, I don't know, in my first video, a car did a spin, but then it corrected itself, but this time it did not. So now I'm just collecting this very specific plant. But sometimes the objective won't mark until you collect a certain amount of the plants, or until you collect all the plants, or sometimes like the objective like mark sound doesn't happen, so you have to check the menu in case it did mark, like, you know, silently, like invisibly, like a phantom mark or something. Oh my god. Oh wow, Kojima, you were so smart. You were so smart with that one. Oh my goodness. But yeah, we pretty much completed all the objectives. We just gotta get out of here with the commander and the kid, and that pretty much ends this mission. Like, yeah, that's it. Oh dear, how am I gonna talk about Metal Gear for the next gajillion hours, and then like a couple more gajillion hours more when I drop part 3 to this video. So yeah, I'm gonna put them all in the back. I'm not gonna put them in the front because my boy D-Dog, he's gotta go there. And I gotta say, Mike Bennencott, if I probably pronounced that name wrong or said it wrong, but yeah, like he also has commentary in his videos, and it's very helpful commentary. Like, it helped me understand like his strategies better. So yeah, shout out to that guy once again. I would not be doing this video without his helpful guides, walkthroughs on Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, he's a beast for this one, like seriously. So yeah, now that we got these guys, we're just gonna drive out of the hot zone. Though there is no hot zone because we haven't completed our main objectives. But if we exit the mission zone with these two guys, that will complete our main objectives. And thankfully, the donkey was able to get out of the way before I ran him over.
Nice work. Keep it up.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Development project has been added.
Mission complete, and how? They're gonna tell stories about this one, boss.
Alright, new mission. Episode 26, Main Ops 26, Mission 26. The objectives for this one: hunting down. Primary objective: eliminate the trafficker. Secondary objectives: pinpoint the trafficker's escape route from an intel file. Eliminate the trafficker before he reaches Kiziba Camp. Kiziba Camp, I don't know how to pronounce it. extract a trafficker and 5 escort soldiers, extract 4 prisoners being held at Ditani Abandoned Village, and extract a side-striped jackal near Kaziba Camp. Now, the jackal. I actually forget when I take down that jackal or whatever, but for these other objectives, so we're going to be revisiting an area which, the final mission, which I did in my previous video, Main Ops 15, that area, we're returning to it, and we're going to clear it out once again to get all the prisoners in that area. In fact, I forget if I used my electrical shock to clear out everyone this time, but I will definitely be going there and doing stuff. I gotta say, honestly, one of my favorite objectives in this game is collecting intel. Like, just the little intel file stuff, because it's so cool, like, entering a room and then, like, just scanning that thing with the cool animation. Just love that. Like, so it's one of my favorite things in this game. So, what type of arm did I bring with me this time? Like, oh, I brought the rocket arm, so it's gonna be really fun to take everyone out. Boom, bam, out of here. And now we're just gonna go collect those dudes over there. Oh, I'm gonna take both of them out? Like, oh, I remember, I think, like, I take both of these guys out, but at one point, like, the other guys wake up because I took too long in, like, trying to get them, and it's just, like, it's a whole thing. But, yeah. Like, I don't know what it is about this level in particular, but it just compels me to use, like, the rocket arm. Just, like, the way it's designed, like, just the way I can hide but still kind of stand. So I just shoot the rocket arm up, and then, boom, I'll just get everyone in front of me. Like, let's go. And, like, all the other enemies aren't really too far away, so I can just run up over to them. And I still have enough cover to run, is the thing. And they just woke up. That's the issue with the rocket arm. Like, once you use it, you pretty much have to get them, because once they wake up, they're awake, per se. But I'm just going to take him out sleeping, though it is wasting darts. Like, I would have been better off just waiting to use the rocket arm, but you know, whatever. It was more epic to take him out that time. And yeah, there's a prisoner here too. Very nice. Like, the last time we were here, we were stealing walker gears, but now we're getting prisoners back from being prisoners, and instead we're going to make them workers in our place. But it's cool because we're Big Boss. Well, we're the Phantom of Big Boss, and it's like they like that. They think it's swaggy. And then at one point they're like, oh, actually, you're better than Big Boss. And also, we don't have to get this dude out of the tent because I have wormholes. Yes. So now I'm going to talk about more tapes while I use the rocket arm to kill more troops. So this time I'm going to completely miss it because I hit a wall. However, since I hit a wall, they're all going to be behind. They're all going to be looking at that, so I can kind of get behind them and then shoot it again through the door this time, instead of trying to do a weird curve. And there's a third guy around, which I wasn't really anticipating, though I actually don't know if I take him out too. Oh, I'm trying to, but I fail. But there is a third guy there. I think I'm going to get my dog to take him out, or not. It would be cool, though. Oh, no, yeah, yes I am, yes I am. Like, it's so cool that I just knew I'd do it. So yeah, the tapes in this game. So the analysis of the voices tape, like in the factory, like the analysis of the voices in the factory tape, like really sets up like that twist that Skullface wants to wipe out the English language very well. Like, it kind of like prods and pokes at it, like, why is this here? Like, it's intrigue, which is actually kind of paid off later on when Skullface explains it. So it's like, okay, that's cool. And the word parasites is used quite poetically throughout this game, in like a lot of neat metaphors and like themes about like language, about like, I don't know, country and all that. However, it's also like this game's version of nanomachines, where it's just kind of they're like, oh yeah, the parasites did that, they gave me superpowers. Yeah, the parasites did that, and it's like, okay. Oh yeah, the parasites is how they could do that. It's like, what? All right. And also, okay, so the tape preventing symptoms tells you that you have to quarantine your men which speak Kakongo. So, like, that's really cool, though I wonder if you actually get that tape at the exact moment you have to quarantine people. But I was really paying attention to the tapes, so it's just kind of like, you know, I wonder about that, because if you did, like, that's a really neat puzzle piece. Like, oh, if you listen to this tape, you'll actually know what to do. But because for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's something which happens later in the game, but I could have sworn that you had to quarantine everyone which knew English in the first chapter, but no. I guess it's just Kakongo. So yeah, here I'm just going to punch that guy. I just love doing that punch. It's such a great punch. So it's like, okay. And, alright, so I learned this from a certain tape, but I forgot which tape I learned this from, but OKB-0 is a fake name for the facility of OKB-0. And it was probably a location for the Russian and Chinese philosophers from Snake Eater and all that, which Skullface reused because it's an abandoned building, so Skullface kind of reused it for his own purposes. So it's like, alright. I believe I'm done collecting all the prisoners in this area, so now I have to go over there and check out the main objective. And I forget if I immediately knock them out once I reach there, or if I have to do a certain thing here. Honestly, I kind of forgot what I have to do in this mission, because it all just kind of blends in with each other after a while. At least, like, I don't know, like, it's not that. It's that this certain, like, string of missions kind of blend together, because we're at night, we're kind of, like, in the same kind of fields, driving a Jeep everywhere. It's just, like, it's all just kind of blending together at this point. So, yeah, more tape talk. So, the What Are Metallica Archaea tape has a part where, like, this species, like, where they say, like, this species survived because of the horrid conditions it was put under, like, the intense heat. And I don't know if that's supposed to refer to, like, a larger theme of the game, like, I don't know, immigration or whatnot, or if that's just a basic-ass scientific explanation. And the tape, Emmerich's, like, power-assisted, like, exoskeleton legs or whatever, kind of goes into further detail on why Huey was so scared when, like, Ocelot dripped the funny juice on his glasses. Like, to be fair, you could just infer why, like, Huey was so scared. Like, it was pretty, like, straightforward. But, you know, like, you have that little extra information in that tape. How about, like, how his bones are like sponges and his bones would break apart. So enemies here are pretty much your target, the trafficker, and his helpers. So we have to extract all of them. And the rocket punch is a great way to kind of get everyone around here. There we go, there's the trafficker. I think I'm actually going to miss him because I'm trying to do these circle loops, but man, it's hard. It's really hard. Aw, but I got the sniper though, so I can just snipe him. Ooh, but it's not that easy, is it? There we go, got him in the body armor, but apparently he's going to fall asleep anyways. Yeah, there we go. A lot of shots. Put him to sleep. Now here, trying to get a headshot. Very nice. So, yeah. Like, I don't know, they're all just going to be hanging out in this field at the very beginning if you kind of rush this mission. Or they'll just be going along that path, and you'll find them eventually. I'm assuming. I don't know. And thankfully I have D-Dog with me to help me, like, spot out any enemies once we are right in front of those enemies. And this dude just got up, so boom, punch him back down. Very nice. Very nice control of that situation. So now back to the tapes. Oh yeah, so I'm going to use my rocket punch to get back to this guy. And oh yeah, around this area is the Jackal. So we got, like, all the dudes who are doing bad stuff, and we got the Jackals. And now here I believe that my thing is going to run out of battery, but I take him out anyways. Or, like, it went, like, out of range, but I was able to knock him out anyways, which is very, very nice. I believe, like, right over there is where the Jackals are. So yeah, I'm going to do, like, pretty much going to take out all these guys except for, like, the main target, because I'm assuming that once I take out the main target, maybe, like, the red zone appears or something. I don't know, just, you always got to be careful with that. Though, to be fair, I'm not 100% sure about that. I think I'm just going to take out those funny Jackals over there. So yeah, the tapes. The Skullface's, like, demise tape says that there's no telling when the last cell of Skullface will die because he's so infected with the parasites and stuff. And I think that's kind of like a neat way to say that his revenge is far from over, given what happens in Chapter 2. Like, yeah, the last cell of Skullface, it's hard to tell when the last cell of Skullface will die when he has such a big impact on, like, the entire Diamond Dogs crew, even long before his death. Though also it's just because his cells, like, literally won't die until, like, he's completely burned. But maybe I'm overreaching here. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit. But, you know, yada yada, whatever. And like the tape that's called, like, the whereabouts of the third English mating pair. In retrospective, that, like, okay, so, like, the tape that's called, like, the whereabouts of the third English, like, mating pair, like, looking at that tape in retrospect, the fact that it was quiet. Actually, I'm not even sure if it was quiet. Was it quiet? Was quiet like the third English mating pair, or was it something else? But yeah, whatever. Like, even if it was quiet or wasn't quiet, like, that tape kind of heavily implies that there was, like, a romance of sorts happening between Venom and like quiet, like Code Talker implies it a bit, and it's just kind of like, bro. Oh yeah, so I believe, yeah, I'm done. So I'm just exiting the mission field. It's kind of like, yeah, like I said, still probably like one of the weakest aspects of the game. And it's like, the thing is, Quiet is like one of the only characters with an arc in this game, but the arc sucks. So it's like, you don't exactly need to have an arc to be a good character. And in this game, it kind of works more to that theme of like, you know, just revenge not being satisfying or whatnot, or yada yada. But man, Quiet's
You're gonna tell stories about this one, boss.
they really should have not had this mission, or at the very least maybe deleted like a previous mission or two and like made this mission like bigger or something, because like it feels like such like a menial mission for what is like probably one of the only things that like moves it, for like one of the only things that moves the story forward. Like apparently like this, like rescuing this guy gives you the information to track down Code Talker, but this mission is so small. Like, oh, mission 27. Let's look at the primary and secondary objectives. Primary objective: extract the intel team member. Secondary objectives: extract the intel team member before he can have an accident, and exfiltrate the hot zone with the intel team member by land. These objectives, all you have to do is rescue that. All you have to do is rescue that guy. Like, that's it. Like, just, you know, before he really does anything on his own, and that's it. This is going to take 4 minutes. Like, what? Like, some of the side ops take longer than this. Like, I can do all the objectives S rank in 3 to 4 minutes. Like, I mean, I can only do that if I was only going for S rank in some of the previous missions. I can back up, back down. I did that like in 4 minutes because I used the Phantom Cigar. Yeah, I watched my previous video for that. But like, yeah, what? But yeah, pretty much just kind of drive your car here to this road, and now we can run down this road. There's the prisoner right there. So now I can sneak our way over to that prisoner. And honestly, like, this now is probably a good time to do some ghosting, though I don't think I do much ghosting. Actually, I forget if I do any ghosting or not. I just remember that at one point I almost got caught because I made a really dumb mistake. But, you know, I still got the S rank. I still got the, you know, all objectives. I just didn't get the no trace. Like, honestly, this is like probably the easiest mission to get no traces in. Like, it's insane. Like, all objectives, S rank, no trace. It's absurd how easy it is. Though, to be fair, maybe I shouldn't be saying that because I screwed it up. But to be fair, I screwed it up for like one of the stupidest reasons. Like, now here is a new weapon I developed, like the Hand of Judy. I don't know how to pronounce that. But pretty much, like, you point it at someone, and then, like, yeah, I had zero reason to like extract that truck. I was trying to like extract the truck with the prisoner in it. To be fair, if I did that, I would actually fail one of my objectives because I have to escape with this guy on land. But yeah, I can just walk away with this guy, and it's gonna be really easy. I'm just gonna run away out of the mission zone. It's gonna be really nice. But yeah, wait, I was talking about something. Hold up. Oh yeah, my new weapon. So like the Hand of, I don't know how to pronounce that. So like the first time you get it, like the range is really short. Like, it's honestly not even worth using, but with extra upgrades you get a little bit more range. Though, to be fair, most of the time it's kind of outclassed by the stun arm and the rocket arm. But it has uses. Like, I don't know, I'm sure there's like plenty of cool ways to use it, and I kind of like, maybe for my chapter 2 video I'll probably find ways to use it. But, you know, right now there's really not much need for it. So yeah, here we're literally going to finish the mission right now. This is insane. Like, what is this? What is this game? What is this mission, man? Like, come on. Like, why did all those other missions get all like these important objectives, and then like the one mission which actually kind of like furthers the plot a bit is the one that's like the throwaway mission? It's like, what? Honestly, like, besides like this one piece of plot detail, like intel, there's zero reason for this this mission to be here. It should frankly be removed. Like, it's such a short mission, so it doesn't waste that much time, but it's still wasting my time and wasting like this mission space. Why is it here? You could have just included this intel like agent in one of the previous missions and it would have been better. Like, what is this? Like what? Or at least include more objectives, maybe more extra objectives. Though maybe that might have been pointless. Anyways, here is Code Talker, and here is like we pretty much reached like we've pretty much reached like the climax portion of this game, because like from here on out it's gonna be kind of crazy. Like this mission is like pretty crazy, and then you got the next mission, which is the boss fight, then the next mission, which is like the final sneaking challenge of chapter 1, and then you got the next mission after that, which is another boss fight. Like pretty much the end game of sorts, and it's an hour long of sorts. Well, almost an hour long, but yeah. Oh yeah, the objectives for this mission, because there are quite a few. Yeah. Mission 28, Code Talker. So primary objectives are make contact with Code Talker, extract Code Talker. So that's just a mission. Secondary objectives are extract Code Talker without him taking damage, eliminate the skulls, extract the skulls, and extract the armored vehicle, sealing off Lufwa Valley. So that armored vehicle is a tank. Keep that in mind. There is a particular time when it shows up. And right now we're going to be coming up against the boss fight. I'm just driving this Jeep to just kind of save time. Instead of having to run all the way to the boss fight, I can just drive my Jeep over there, and what's going to happen is a very stressful, very chaotic clash of battle. And also I will not be getting the perfect stealth bonus in this mission, because I can do this mission without the perfect stealth bonus and still get an S rank. I will be doing no damage though. I will be doing S rank, and I will be doing all the objectives. But I'm not going to do perfect stealth, because during this boss fight, I got caught once, and I just kind of rolled with it, and then I rolled with the rest of the mission, and it was an S rank. So it was just kind of like, at that point, I'm not even mad. Honestly, it kind of makes the fight a little bit more fun to watch maybe near the end, but I'm still very slow with it, because I'm no expert. I don't fully understand this boss fight, but this is probably like my favorite boss fight in the game, per se. Like, I don't know, just like this sneaky type of encounter, like the end kind of boss fight. You know, it's okay. We took the quiet boss fight, and then we added like 3 more of her. I like that. I think that's cool. So yeah, we start off like there's one of the skulls all the way over there. Oh yeah, the way they introduce these skulls is so stupid as hell. Like they literally focus on it like just the boobs and the butt, and it's like, bro, like quiet was questionable, but like why are you doing this? Like really? Like what explanation do you have? Like, what is it, a Beauty and the Beast thing? Is it so deep? Like, is their beauty being transformed, is being taken away by the beastly well-oiled machine of war, or some stupid shit like that? Like, I mean, am I supposed to like this game better because it's not pretending to be deep like 4? Like, it's stupid. Why are they designed like that? Like the male skulls aren't designed like that. Like, what are you doing, bro? Bro, what are you doing? So yeah, here I'm just honestly, D-Dog is such a good dog here, but sometimes he's not always going to mark these skulls. And I'm taking the left path, because every time I'm taking like the right path, like I don't know, like there'll be like a skull waiting for me, and like sometimes if you go like near one of their sniping points, like they'll just run over there, and then you'll run straight into a skull, and that can be a whole set of complications. And I also hate those times in this fight where you're kind of there I kind of noticed a skull firing from all the way over there, and every time like you land a hit on one of the skulls, it's good to like kind of move a little bit to the left or maybe a little bit to the right, just kind of, you know, keep moving your position, because I don't know, they're going to try to like snipe you from the place you sniped them. So it's like yeah. Now this one's gonna be a little tough. I'm gonna try to get her. Oh no, not at all. Boom, baby. Yeah. I will be doing it non-lethally though. I mean, to be fair, I think it's pretty obvious just from the way I've been handling so far that it will be non-lethally. But you know, maybe someone was curious that if I do it non-lethally or not. But no, it can be kind of a pain in the ass when you're stuck in a situation where there. I just noticed another skull right there. And did I just take her out completely? Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it can be kind of annoying where you're stuck in an area where like one skull will be behind you and another skull will be like in front of you, so like you're kind of screwed on both ends. Or sometimes you're trying to like crawl away from a skull which like has her which has like her sniper sight on you, but like you really can't crawl away fast enough to like a piece of cover, so you're just screwed there. I don't like that, so that's probably why I just decided to go along with this mission and see. I was just curious if I would get the perfect stealth bonus even if I got caught by these snipers, and you don't get the perfect stealth bonus. So if you ever reach a point where like the screen slows down and like the sniper bullet is about to hit you, then you pretty much screwed up your perfect stealth bonus, so you're gonna have to redo the whole mission. And also you'll screw up your reflex bonus, and that's the thing, even if you turned your reflex mode off, it's still going to go off during this mission, and you're still going to be penalized for using reflex, even though you have reflex turned off in the game settings. It's just like always on for like this boss fight in particular. Now here I'm going to use my stun arm to shock. Actually, this is kind of a waste. I waste my like stun arm because I'm not close enough to them to actually use it. This is really sad. Like, I could have used it for a really useful thing, but instead I just completely wasted it. It's so sad. Okay, so one really useful thing to do here is that if there's like no way to get around like a sniper's like kind of sight line, just kind of pop out a smoke grenade and then just go ham from there. And I believe maybe a rock's probably blocking that area. And now I screwed it up. But yeah, just kind of pop a smoke grenade in front of the sniper's like lines. Like side of line of sight, and that should be good enough. And now here, I don't know if I'm protected enough. Oh yeah, but also if you stand completely still, like their blue highlighted bodies will pop up. So that's very useful for like seeing if I can actually get a headshot on them or not. And man, by this point my voice is starting to hurt. It's like what, 3 hours, 3 minutes? Oh my goodness, like man, these are like the longest videos I've made yet, and I released this one like so soon after the other one. Like maybe I should have waited a little bit, but you know, I am actually enjoying like replaying this game quite a bit. Like it's been a fun replay, even if it has been a rather fast one. This is the part where I got screwed. It's just like, bro, what are you going to do in that situation? Like, that's crazy. And now it's a mad dash. I'm just running everywhere. I'm trying to, like, you know, get out of the sniper's line of sight. And also, I think I'm going to try to punch one of them, but maybe that was in a failed attempt. Oh, okay, I see my rocket arm here. I think I hear one of them running, so I'm going to try to punch them. Or maybe I'm just going to run to, like, the ones which I've already knocked out. And I'm going to, like, just fulton and recover. Just wormhole that one like skull there, just because once you take out all 4 of them, they disappear and after a very short time, like a minute. So it's better to just take them out like one by one, or rather take out 3 of the skull. Oh yeah, look at that, they can do that. They can do that. Like these skulls in particular can sneak up behind you and do knife attacks, and you can counter those knife attacks. That's crazy. Like how do you even activate the conditions for that to happen? Like that's insane. Like, yo, I mean, I failed it, but at least it didn't get hit though, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, that's another skull which was knocked out, and there we go. Did I knock her out with melee attacks or no? I don't know. But yeah, now I believe there's only 2 skulls left, and there they are over there. Very nice. It's become an active battlefield. Here we go. Let's get a nice shot here. So I mean, like this boss fight's awesome, I'd say, but like some of the other fights in the game are either a little too like easy or just not involved enough. But this one's just right, I think. I'm very worried about how it's gonna play out on like the extreme difficulty, because I'm pretty sure this is one of the missions which you have to repeat in chapter 2, but like on a harder difficulty, and these skulls are going to have more health this time. That worries me a lot, because like the health they have right now is honestly pretty good for like fighting 4 of them, but like if it gets increased, oh no. Like I would want a health increase for like Quiet, but not for like these chicks, because like there's 4 of them. Like that's enough of a challenge. But I guess it's gonna get even more challenging and more engaging. Yeah, I don't know, this game's boss fights, like what do we have here? We have like the skulls which show up in like Phantom Limb, which that's like a little stealth encounter you can do, or like a chase. It's like okay. And then after that, honestly, like, they don't really stick out in my mind very well, these boss fights. Like there's the second time you meet the skulls. Like yeah, that's a boss fight. Like I threw sleep grenades at them. Like yeah. Oh wait, no, that's not the second time. The second time is when you're recovering the honeybee. That's a little bit more of a boss fight, but it's just really easy to cheese them with the whole go inside that building and then take pot shots from across the corner. And to be fair, I could have done something with the riot shield, like, but maybe that might have been a little too hopeful, to be honest. Like going into that building and taking pot shots with the grenade launcher is a great way to go about it. And Ooh, now this one will hit her. That's gonna be very nice. Wait, do I actually finish the fight with this weapon? Like, that'd be nice. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Or is there still another skull alive? I heard a shot, so there must be another skull alive. But I guess they just couldn't see me, or they were trying to guess where I am. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, like on the second time you fight the skulls, yeah, it's kind of a boss fight. But I mean, there's a way to cheese it. Like, okay, that's kind of a boss encounter. I don't know how creative you can get with it, especially since they're right in front of your face. Then the third one is like the stealth ones, or you can throw sleep grenades. It's like, all right. Then we got Eli, which has something going on with CQC, but you can completely ignore it. Like, all right. And then there's, well, this. And I do quite. Oh, there's Quiet. I forgot about her. Like, she's cool, but she has too little health in her first mission. So it's like, okay. Okay, now this fight, which is just Quiet before them, which is just kind of like, I mean, it's a little unoriginal of a concept. However, it's a really cool fight, cool sniper fight, and I like it quite a bit. So, like, I mean, Quiet's like one of the only cool fights in the game. So, like, I'm just glad that they just made Quiet but cooler in a lot of ways. So it's like, alright, cool. I still don't think any of these fights come, like, close to the end, or maybe even, like, the Crying Wolf fight, frankly. But they're pretty cool fights. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they're better than, like, the Sniper Wolf fight. And also whatever sniping I have to do in Metal Gear Solid 2. Like, oh my goodness, I hate that. Hate that. But, yeah. Oh, actually, the Crying Wolf fight, you can cheese it really easily once you, like, find her and all that. So maybe not the Crying Wolf fight, but maybe not the Crying Wolf fight. But I'd say the end is still better. But still, like, these sniper battles where you have to sneak around, do stealth, like, I love that stuff. That stuff is always, like, some of the best stuff in this game. It's like, the keynote. Some of the best stuff in the series, frankly. But I don't know, it's like when I think about Metal Gear, like, the boss fights are always such a highlight. Like, even when they're not a highlight, like, they're the highlight. You get me? To be fair, like, all the past Metal Gear games, like, forced you to engage with the boss fights. Like, 101, there was no avoiding them except for in Snake Eater, where you could kill the end by old age or by sniping him. So it's not like this isn't the first time the series has allowed you to skip boss fights per se, but like, this is the first time where it's become way more of an option. And, like, I don't know, I mean, I'm sure it made the game more pleasant for some people. It certainly made my no damages more pleasant in a lot of areas, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, in previous Metal Gear games, like, yeah, since you couldn't really skip fights, you had to deal with, like very frustrating moments, but also, like, it made the good fights, like, better, because you actually had to engage with them and learn them, and it's like, that's satisfying to me. I don't think it's satisfying to just completely skip them. Like, I don't know, I can't really call it a stealth boss fight if I'm just completely, like, avoiding dealing with, like, the enemy. Like, I don't know, a stealth boss fight is more like staying completely hidden while also, like, you know, dealing some damage on the way back, though I guess that's not exactly a ghost run. So maybe a ghost run is like, I don't know, like landing CQC attacks perfectly and then hiding away afterwards. Death Stranding actually has a boss fight that's just like that. But Death Stranding's control setup is very frustrating for stealth, and just, like, what the hell did D-Dog do there? That did not look like a knockout. But I'm happy that they're knocked out, though. So yeah, we're going to infiltrate this mansion through the house. However, before we enter the house, I'm going to do some stun arm shenanigans. Because, like, everyone is so, like, close by in this house that it's really easy to just knock everyone out. And honestly, like, before I, like, got to my objective, I honestly should have, like, extracted everyone. That would have made things easier. But whatever, we're just going to knock everyone out. And to be fair, I should have gone out of my way to, like Fulton extract everyone, but I guess I was just lazy. But yeah, what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, Death Stranding. Or Death Stranding? Death Stranding? Yeah, Death Stranding, yeah. That game. Honestly, like, Death Stranding is kind of like if Kojima looked at, like, the flaws of Metal Gear Solid 5 and said, what if I make, like, the bad parts of that game good? Like, oh, there's empty terrain during, like, in between missions, and that's, like, tedious. I'm gonna make that part the main focus of the gameplay, and I'm actually going to focus on making it, like, varied and fun. Okay, cool. Oh, you don't like how I use Sins of the Father in that one Jeep ride? Well, now I'm going to use licensed music and a lot of really evocative, like, delivery, like, missions, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, kind of how Red Dead used that one song when you were going to Mexico. Like, alright, cool. But then the parts which like Metal Gear Solid 5 did really well, Death Stranding does worse. But to be fair, it's never really the focus of the game. But then there's the boss fights. Then there's like the camps where enemies have guns, which you actually have to sneak through, or engage in firefights. Which, to be fair, I don't think the game wants you to engage in firefights. It wants you to avoid them. But still, stealth in Death Stranding is so annoying because like the enemies actually have good AI in that game. They're like Navy SEALs. So like now you have like worse controls to sneak through, like less like environmental awareness, and the enemies are smarter and have better eyesight. So that combine all that and you have a very frustrating stealth experience. But that's not to say that the stealth boss fights in that game aren't cool. Like the stealth boss fights in that game I think are pretty cool. Probably a good highlight of the game, especially the way they use their environments. Like, I mean, they look like really expensive sets. Anyways, here we're having a walkie-talkie scene, and I don't like this at all. I should be able to skip this. Why is this not a cutscene? Like, why can I not skip this? This is stupid. Like, this is just like the hospital stuff, like the prologue chapter. It's just like, alright, once we reach this point, we have like an actual gameplay. But like, man, what was the point of that? It was just like a minute or two just wasted. And now here it's going to be hard to exit the building, and honestly I should have Fulton extracted those guys outside. Wait, did I or did I not? Because now I have zero idea how to get out of here without alerting those enemies to like me opening the door. So I'm just going to like be here in doubt, like, how do I do this? How do I do this? But then at one point I decide to go, you know what, I'm going to open the door. I don't care if like the enemies are going to hear me, but then they hear me and then I adapt. I certainly adapt to the situation, but I take a while. Yeah, like here I'm like, they're looking away, but then, oh, that enemy holds the door. So now I think I'm going to use D-Dog mostly to take him out, and then once D-Dog's taking out one enemy, I'm going to get the jump on another enemy. Oh yeah, there we go. That's how. Now they're looking over there so they don't see me. Very, very nice. Very smooth transition there. Also, Death Stranding I think is kind of like a reaction to what some people who didn't like Venom Snake is like, oh, Venom Snake's like this mute asshole that doesn't connect with people or whatnot. Like, I don't know, no chemistry. And then you get Sam Bridges, a guy whose whole deal is that he has a trouble connecting with people and doesn't really have much chemistry with anyone for plot reasons this time. So it's like, oh, alright then. So yeah, now I thought I would go through the right, but since I'm carrying Code Talker, that's just not really gonna fly because I can't climb stuff anymore, and like there's so much climbable terrain in this place. It's like, bro, come on. And now here we have a cutscene. It's like, what? That kind of came out of nowhere. I was not expecting that. Like, I mean, it's a really like dark tale, but it's like, and I look at that, I can't even climb that little thing. Aw, that's so sad. And here I think I'm gonna try to use the stun arm again, but I don't think I get that many people. So yeah, the tank we have to extract is on the left. I think what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pretty much go all the way through this area on the right, and then I'm going to pretty much loop back in on the left and then go get Code Talker back once I extracted the tank, and then from there I have to leave. And also, word to the wise, you actually have to call a helicopter during this section because that helicopter doesn't immediately come for you. You have to call it. I only really took out like 2 enemies. Maybe a few more off over there. No, not really, only 2 enemies. And wait, why don't I Fulton extract them? They're gonna wake up soon. Well, I guess that's just my foolish nature acting up again. Or maybe I think I'm gonna try to take a different path now that I realize that path really is a little sussy. Let's just say that. But yeah, what else is there to say? Like, I don't know, with the boss fights. Like, I don't know, it really doesn't reach the heights of the other Metal Gear games when it comes to boss fights. Like, I don't know. Like, Metal Gear Solid 1, like, yeah, it has a lot of rubbish fights, but also it's got a lot more memorable fights in this game, too. Like, frankly. And also, it's just a variety with this game, because all you have is the skulls, frankly. You have, like, the skulls, you have to hide from them. The skulls, you have to fight them. The skulls, like, a mix of both. And then, like, the skulls, you have to fight them again, but now they have armor. It's like, And now we have like the sniper skulls. It's quiet again, but 4 of them, which is cool because quiet's one of my favorite fights. And then quiet sniper battle. All right. Then you have Eli, which is actually a pretty unique setup for a boss fight, but you can just avoid it completely. All right. And then you have the final boss of the game, which is a giant robot, and it's honestly a pretty cool setup. But I don't know. I feel it's kind of like it's honestly like a little lame compared to some of the stuff in Peace Walker. However, Phantom Pain does have better combat than Peace Walker. Honestly, I know Sahelanthropus is a pretty good Peace Walker boss fight. I don't know. Like, maybe some of the boss fights in Peace Walker are better, maybe they're worse. I don't know. I'm gonna go with like Sahelanthropus is kind of like a baby Peace Walker fight, just because one, it doesn't have as much health as a Peace Walker fight. Though to be fair, that's honestly a good thing compared to like Peace Walker's like absurd amount of health for boss fights. Like on a first time playthrough, like those boss fights take way too long. Like honestly, like I have good memories of the Peace Walker boss fights because I redid that game on New Game Plus. So I had a bunch of advanced weaponry. To just completely demolish the boss fight. So like I'm a little bit more positive on them because of that. But like on a first time playthrough, like 20 minutes for one fight, like no, that's stupid. But so like this boss fight not taking that long is nice, and there is a lot of nice moves and variety to like its moveset and all that, and also like the field you work in is really huge and big, and I like that. But yeah, there's our tank, so we're just gonna loop back in on it, and we're going to extract it that way, and also extract the dude who's also protecting the tank, and also we're gonna make sure that Kotalker takes no damage during this part, and that's pretty much the plan. And I guess now, since we have a lot of time, the Jeep ride with Skullface. So like that scene is doing like a very particular sin, which Metal Gear is pretty famous and infamous for, where like the villain, like, you know, once they're at their final scene, they pretty much monologue their entire motivations and like reason for living, and all at the very end. Like it happens in Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid 4. It pretty much happens in all the Metal Gear Solid games, really. It's a very common trope. And Skullface is still doing that, so I don't know. So back to that review of Kevy Reviews Things, or Levy Reviews Things, I forgot the name. I think it was Kevy Reviews Things, like that Metal Gear Solid 5 video. He brings up the point that even if they like animated that Skullface like cutscene with like more fancy like editing, with some of the more like slideshow reels, or with like an actual cutscenes and score, that it still wouldn't improve a cutscene that's just mostly like very like blatant amateurish like monologuing. Man, I just have to disagree with that, because like I mean, Skullface's like version of this monologue is probably like the worst one in the series. Like okay, like his actual monologue maybe isn't that bad, honestly. Like it's a little better than like Liquid's monologue, but the way it's just presented, like I think what kills it for me is just no music. It's just like you're in a Jeep ride, he's just talking by himself, and also just Venom's complete lack of reaction. Like, it's one thing to be asking like very dumb questions for the audience to understand, and it's another thing to not react to your antagonist at all. Like, I don't know, like the argument that Venom only speaks when he like needs to speak is just kind of falls apart at this point. He just doesn't speak. Like, I mean, it's one thing to take away like the dumb like questions like, oh, well, why did he do that? Or, oh, why are you doing this? But that's one thing. Like, oh, we're gonna remove that, but you have to replace it with something, and this game replaces it with really nothing. So you're just kind of left with this dude who has zero charisma with the bad guy, and the bad guy has done so much to this guy. Like, you know, like he has such a big presence, but that all just kind of goes away when Venom just simply doesn't give a shit. And like, I mean, there was like kind of an irony in the scene, because like he prepared this speech for Big Boss, and you know he's giving it to the completely wrong guy. But like that, I don't think that irony is enough to save a very stupidly presented scene. And then the way the Sins of the Father plays when they're just on that Jeep ride alone, just looking at each other for no reason. Why didn't they use Sins of the Father like during some sort of boss fight, during some sort of climactic encounter like how Peace Walker used it, or just save it for the credits alone? Like, it was like the worst moment to use Sins of the Father. Why? Like, what is that, dude? Seriously. Like, I don't know. If Skullface actually got like a cool cutscene while explaining his monologues, and they actually went back to the more classic style Metal Gear Solid cutscenes and had like awesome music playing like behind him while he like monologues. Like the voice actor for Skullface, I forget his name. He was like a pretty famous actor. He was a cowboy. Like he's really good. He has a really good voice. Like sometimes he has some pretty funny lines like, "Would you agree?" Or like the whole famous "Who" scene. No, I'm not gonna scream right now. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry if it's disappointed that I'm not gonna scream. But like, like the voice actor is really good, but like, man, it's all just kind of wasted when it's presented in the most sterile form possible. And also, it's another walkie-talkie scene, which this time you can actually skip, thankfully. Like, if the game didn't allow you to skip it, that would just be overkill. But like, anyways, here's the boss fight with the skulls, the last one. I thought this boss fight would be a lot worse than it would be a lot worse. However, if you have D-Walker, then no damaging this fight isn't really too bad. Just kind of start off, get into D-Walker, avoid the black glass, and since like you're in D-Walker, they're gonna approach you and try to black gas you. But since they're always trying to black gas you, you can always just like avoid the black gas and then shoot at them. And then once you shoot at them, boom, you kill them. And then these rock guys, if you keep shooting at them, they're gonna break their rock, and then they're gonna once again approach you, black gas, very nice. And then once you like kind of get them by half their health bar, just once again black gas, and you shoot them again. Very nice. Now there's one left. However, I want to like pretty much Fulton like the rest of these. I want to Fulton like the rest of these guys before I take out this guy. And yeah, here's some CQC takedowns. Very nice. So I'm gonna be every time I do like a CQC takedown, I'm gonna run to one of his buddies and put a balloon on him. But then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna get my eyes back on this guy. Now the thing that I'm really worried about is if he pulls out the machine gun. Like these CQC things, like once you learn them, like they're pretty easy, but they're also really sick to learn. But yeah, like every time I land one of those, I run and rescue one of his buddies. Now the water pistol, I just brought it here for humor, and also I brought the riot shield in case he pulls out the machine gun. And pretty much I just kind of shoot the water pistol until he does a melee attack or until he pulls out the blade, and that's pretty much how it works. However, if he pulls out the machine gun, like I have my riot shield to block every single hit, just like in Peace Walker. However, he never really does it. In fact, honestly, the only real deterrent you need to have to like avoid getting machine gunned is really just your water pistol. Just keep shooting him with the water pistol, and he's not really ever going to pull out that machine gun. But I guess if I'm trying to run away from him, there's like a little bit of a chance that he will pull out the machine gun. And now once I pretty much got all his buddies like Fulton, I'm now just gonna shoot him with my little grenade launcher here, and I'm gonna watch out for any grenade attacks. And I'm very thankful that he never actually like took out the machine gun. Like if he took out the machine gun, that would be the death of me. And also just glad that none of the zombie soldiers are nearby while I'm doing this. However, I will say like I actually failed the no kills requirement for this mission, and to be fair, I think it's because I literally killed the skulls here. But I didn't think that would happen. I thought that if you depleted like their life bar, that wouldn't count as a kill, but I guess it does count as a kill, which is kind of like, aw, okay. But you know, whatever. The mission's done, it's over, we move on, we live and learn.
Too. Roger that.
So yeah, going back to that Jeep ride, like I don't know, during the Jeep ride, Skullface says something along the lines of, "A philosopher once said that we do not inhabit a native land, but a language, for that is our true fatherland." And yes, I am paraphrasing the quote, but the point I'm trying to make is that is the exact quote that the game opens up with. Like, I don't know, what's the point of opening up with that quote if one of your characters is just going to repeat it verbatim? Like, it's really weird. Like, just have one or the other. Like, I don't know, usually when you start off like your game or movie with a certain quote, you don't have one of your characters immediately say that quote in the game. Like, there's a reason you left it as a quote, because if you wanted to say it in the game, you just say it in the game. What's the point in quoting it as like little text on screen? Like, there's no point in doing the two things. Do one or the other. Come on, man. Like, grow up. Oh yeah, all the objectives of the previous mission, I did not explain it, but I guess I'll just do a quick overview of the objectives for mission 29. Because I don't know, I think it's pretty like eliminate the skulls, extract Code Talker, complete the mission without being grabbed by a puppet soldier, and extract all the skulls. So yeah, that's why I was extracting the skulls. And now mission 30, Skullface. This is the finale of chapter 1. And it's honestly a pretty great stealth mission. Honestly, it's a lot of really great level design here. But yeah, the primary objectives are make contact with Skullface and get information from Skullface. The secondary objectives are extract 4 walker gears, obtain a cassette tape at OKB0, extract 7 red containers from OKB0, and extract 3 tanks from OKB0. Now, this level is honestly like pretty straightforward, and it's honestly so well designed. I'd say that it's never really hard to follow. to follow your objectives. Now, because I don't know, usually it's pretty straightforward. Like, you know, it's in this area, you got to pick up these amount of things. Then in the next area, you also got to pick up those things. So it's a really, like, it's pretty easy to understand. And it's honestly not that, like, it's hard to get lost in this level. Just because I think it's really, it's designed really well. And there's so many different paths in and out. Though I'm honestly, most of the time, I'm just going to be taking the front door. In fact, like, I had ambitions of, like, clearing this entire outpost. However, cameras exist at this point, at this outpost, and like at a certain point I just kind of gave up, and it was like easier to move on. But I pretty much clear out like 80 to 90% of everyone in this outpost. So yeah, there's a sniper up ahead, so don't rush in immediately, just kind of play it safe at first. But that sniper is going to be old news very fast.
Scarface is in OKB-0. XOF has occupied the facility.
Yeah, I'd be shooting him in the balls, and this guy will be shot in the leg, because I'm pretty sure every soldier at this base actually wears helmets, so I don't think you can actually get any headshots, but I might be wrong on that. Maybe you could shoot their helmets off like you could in Peace Walker. But, you know, that actually reminds me, can you actually shoot soldiers' helmets off in the Phantom Pain? Like, you could do it in Peace Walker, but I swear, every time I shot a helmet in this game, like, their helmet never came off. That's interesting. Yeah, here we go. Rocket Punch is back in action, and this level is really wonderful for the Rocket Punch. And I just love taking out these guys on the Walker gear with the Rocket Punch. It's kind of like, boom, bro, get out of here, out of here. And here we have these lens flares, and I think I mentioned it before how this game uses lens flares to like dictate whether you're seen or not. Like, I also talked about it in my Ground Zeroes like no damage video. Yeah, you can go watch that. I no damage Ground Zeroes. It's only 55 minutes, so if you're this far in this video, I think you can stomach a Ground Zeroes video. But yeah, how like, I don't know, this game can use lens flares to dictate whether you're actually, if an enemy sees you or not, with like spotlights or with cameras. Like, I don't know, cameras will have a lens flare if they're looking directly at you, but if they're not, the lens flare goes away. So yeah, there we go. That's our first Walker gear extracted. Very, very nice. And what the hell is that guy doing here? I guess he just woke up from the Rocket Punch, but I put him down, and now I carried him off with the Fulton extraction. So there we go. The first room of like this level is pretty much cleared. But we have the next room to deal with, and yeah, I'm pretty much going to take the front door here, because I don't know, most of the time taking the front door is pretty good, though to be fair, with my approach, taking the front door is really good, because I'm eliminating everyone. So I'm going to like enter the front door, and whoever like can see me, I'm taking them out. Like, there's no question about it. Wait, I was talking about something in particular. I forgot. I keep saying that. I take a shot every time I say I forgot. And yeah, that does count too. Also, I kind of switched up the paint jobs for my guns. I don't know, there's a little bit of a red paint with my sniper, and there's just a blue paint with my tranquilizer gun. If anyone has noticed, I think it's pretty cool. And my dog, he's got a new paint job too. He kind of looks like more like, oh my god, the sniper there. Like, I'm really worried about that sniper, because it's like, oh, that was so lucky. I'm happy that the sniper like lost sight of me. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this area incorporates snipers in really like smart, cool ways, which they kind of make you, you know, more stealthy. And also, here we go, we're gonna snipe them out. One time I failed this mission because I cleared out everyone in like this section of the level, but then there was like one sniper guy who was really lazy, but then once he like actually stopped being lazy and tried to find me, he immediately found me, and I was very, very sad about that. There we go, Rocket Punch, because we got a Walker gear on the prowl, and I'm just going to go behind this dude and get him after I knock these two guys out. Oh, and that guy out too. And now I'm just going to circle all the way back to get that Walker gear. What a good plan. Like, that is so smooth. That's like one of the reasons why I just absolutely love that weapon. And now I'm going to take this guy out. Though I should also probably start rushing and start trying to take out the guys which are just stunned, because they're going to wake up soon. Like, they absolutely are. And there we go. That's our first tank, which you have to extract out of the hot zone. And also, well, the second Walker gear is coming up. And yeah, I got to take that guy out too, because he can see me. But like, oh my, the dudes are going to wake up. I think I could use my dog in case they wake up. But like, I gotta hurry up here. I really, really gotta hurry up. So yeah. I think what I really like about this level is that it's really like a very straightforward level, but there's like a lot going on in this area. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of like different passageways like through this part here. Oh yeah, I got this guy while he was like waking up and getting up. I like that a lot. Like, I don't know, I mean, it's very tight, but it's also very wide. Like honestly, it kind of reminds me of like Peace Walker's levels, but a much better version of them. Instead of being like so simple, like I mean, we have kind of that same like nice straightforward simplicity, but with much more complexity going on. Like more enemies, just wider areas, and also just more reactive ways to deal with everything. Really, like I don't know. I mean, at first, like I mean, calling this like the best like final sneaking challenge in a Metal Gear Solid game, like it kind of felt like a stretch. I don't know, like oh like. I'm just giving it too much credit, but to be fair, like I mean, thinking about it, like I don't know, like okay, to be fair, I can't really talk much about Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2 because I have not known damage to those games yet. But Metal Gear Solid 1, like the final sneaking challenge of that game is the tank hangar. It's like okay, and then Metal Gear Solid 2, the final sneaking challenge of that game is the Arsenal gear thing where you're naked, and like that's like a neat challenge, but it's like not much meat on the bone, but it's a neat challenge, no lie. And then for Metal Gear Solid like 3, there's the escort mission. And if you don't count the escort mission, there's just the stuff with the bomb, which really isn't that much of anything, which is like, alright. And then there's Twin Snakes, which slightly improved the tank, like the tank hangar, but it's still kind of whatever. And then there's Portable Ops. Oh, Portable Ops actually has a pretty substantial final sneaking level, but you actually have Portable Ops. No, there's a good argument for Portable Ops. Like Portable Ops has a really substantial final level, but it still isn't as complex as the stuff here. So like I mean, honestly, Portable Ops probably has like the most like engaged like final sneaking section out of like all the Metal Gear games. Like honestly, there's a lot to like love about Portable Ops. It's just really held back by its controls, frankly, and its camera. Like, oh my goodness, like honestly, Portable Ops ain't too bad. But yeah, and then there's Metal Gear Solid 4. Like the final sneaking challenge of that game is just the Arsenal gear thing in Chapter 5. And oh yeah, I should probably mention that I have no damage to all these games, which I mentioned in these sneaking levels for. So you can go watch those videos and see those final stealth challenges and how I approach them. And then yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4 is like, yeah, we have that Arsenal gear thing, which it's a bit of good stealth, but it's so short-lived that it's like, ah. So yeah, once I take out everyone in this section, I'm gonna climb up here. I actually think like maybe this might be pointless because I think I climb up here and then I realize that there's no place to climb up here from like on the left, or I don't find it. Oh no, actually I do find it. We got a nice ladder. That's what I'm telling you. This level design, it's goat swag keynote, yes. And now we're in this next area here. I forget where the containers come in. I think they come in like the final section, or maybe they come in this section, and then like the last couple of containers are in the next room. And yeah, so beyond Metal Gear Solid 4, there's Peace Walker, and Peace Walker has a sneaking level of sorts as a final challenge. Like, all right, cool, but even that sneaking challenge is not as good as this one. So like frankly, yeah, this is probably like the best final sneaking level in any of the games, which is a really good, cool, like competent job. Like, all right, nice job, Fan of Pain. Like this is honestly a really like swag engaging level. And now here I thought there would be a bridge to connect to like that part here, so I can like Fulton extract the soldiers I just knocked out with Rocket Punch, but no such thing exists. In fact, this part of the level is where things get complicated. It's like a lot of really close enemies. You have a helicopter around, there's cameras around, like the complexity just keeps increasing over and over. Like it's honestly just such a, like a nice like linear like stealth challenge, but with like a lot of openness to it. Like a lot of different paths, a lot of different buildings to explore. Like I mean, it's just a very nice big level, and I appreciate it a lot. Like I mean, I'm sure there's a way to ghost this because people have done this level without any traces. Though I'm sure they've done all the levels in this game without any traces. Some people, but I'm actually a little bit confused if you can actually do every single level, because there's got to be some levels where you just can't. However, I don't know. I've been proven wrong on that because like the Metallic Archaea level. Someone has actually managed to do that level without getting traces, and it involves this crazy like strategy with like a tank or whatnot. But like, I was not doing it. Like I just wanted no damage, and getting no damage was easy enough. And now this Waku gear is getting way too close for its own good. Honestly, like I'm honestly like in shock over how I survived this section. Like I'm just way too lucky for my own good. Like That dude was so close to noticing me. And I'm so glad that my boy D-Dog here is not going to bed just because of a simple grenade. Now here I'm going to try to make this guy go to bed, but he runs super fast with his walker gears, so he's just avoiding all that smoke. And now he's alerting everyone that there is indeed a sleep grenade smoke thing going on. And by this point, the guards I knocked out with a rocket punch are being woken up by their allies. So it's like, oh my, it's so much insanity. Look at that helicopter over there. Like, just, really great sneaking level, I think. Yeah. Okay, it actually worked this time. Cool. I don't know why he kept screaming incoming fire. Was it because he was gonna lose control of like the D-Walker or something? Like, it's not like I was like hacking him or anything, so that's just a little weird. So yeah, right, I think in this area there's some containers. So what was it, 7 containers? I think here there was either 3 or 4 containers, and then in the next area there's either 3 or 4 containers. So now I'm just bringing out my dog, and now I gotta like knock everyone out while I brought out my dog. Like, I mean, like, me and my dog working together, we can take out huge groups of people. And like, I thought I would take out everyone in this area. However, at one point, like, enemies started hiding in this one area which had a camera, and I did not want to get caught on camera because that would ruin my like perfect stealth I'm doing here. And yes, this is perfect stealth despite all the mayhem going on. But yeah, this is still perfect stealth, no kills. Yes. Despite me like clearing out an entire base almost. But I don't exactly succeed in like actually clearing out the entire base. But you know, I do get very close. And I will be getting those walker gears, those like containers, and those tanks. Yes. Honestly, I kind of ran out of things to say because we're just so far into the video, and also because I've already talked so much about like the Phantom Pain in the previous video. I hope I have more things to say in the next part, which I mean, hopefully I will. I'll have more cassette tapes to like look forward to, and I'll probably like rewatch all the cutscenes this time actually, because like, oh my goodness, man, I gotta do more research. I said it in the previous video, but I'm still gotta do more research in this video. I mean, I researched some stuff, so. But I guess I'm still saving stuff for the next video because the next video is going to be very long. Potentially my longest out of all of them. Because like, like those extreme versions of the previous missions, like if they make the boss fights longer, like those missions are going to be long. And here I completely miss a soldier. I am so sad about that. I don't know at which point do I just give up on like trying to take everyone out. Maybe it's this point because I'm just running, or maybe I'm trying to this guy gives me sus vibes. He kind of gives me like a sniper vibe. I don't like that. I think I'm going to try to like get this guy out the battlefield. Yeah, Fulton. Yeah, very nice. I think it's here. Like, I try to enter this area, but then I notice that there's a camera in there, and I'm like, no. Because I don't really have any weapons to take out the camera. Like, I don't have an assault rifle to like blow it out. And even if I blow it out, they'll just call attention to me. And like what do I do here? Do I throw a grenade at it? Like, just, I don't really have any like tools to deal with that camera. Like, what, would like shutting off all the lights in the base like shut off the camera? Like, I mean, I was like, oh, I'm gonna Fulton extract the guy I just shot over there, but the guy I shot over there, the camera's there too. So instead, I think I'm just gonna focus on my main objectives. Like, there we go. This is where they are, the material containers. So we have 1, 2, I'm assuming 3, but maybe there's 4. There's enough space for 4. Let's see, is there enough? Yeah, there's 4 of them here, and then in the next area there's gonna be 3 of them. So yeah, like right now it's like easier to just move on with the level and just ignore the enemies because they're all kind of on the other side, so they really are not my problem. So I'm just chilling here, just getting these material containers, you know, very, very, very nice. And yeah, like, oh my goodness, my voice is getting quite tired. The vocal cord parasites, they're infecting me. Yo tengo que hablar español ahora. Estoy jugando Metal Gear Solid, The Phantom Pain, con mi perro, el tanque, la serpiente sólida, la serpiente Liquidus, no está en este juego, no lo llaman así, lo llaman Eli. I don't know how to say Eli in Spanish, so I'm gonna stop that. But beyond that, that was perfect. But yeah, so there we go. We got our tank. I don't know if that's the last tank. I'm actually a little unsure if there's yeah, no, there is another tank in the next area. So yeah, the next area has very few guards. Though to be fair, I'm actually a little unsure if that's because like they migrated over to this area, or if that's because this place is just like less guarded or whatnot. I don't know, like we have a sniper there. Maybe like everyone here is a sniper, because I don't know, they're all in the pretty. That is not a sniping weapon. Like, you're not fooling anyone. But yeah, like this place is just, compared to like the previous areas, like this is cake. Like, this is absolute cake right here. Like, Didi, just go get him. I don't even have to deal with him. I'll just let the dog handle him. So yeah, there we go. There's our final tank, and I believe like our final D-Walker is also going to be here. Just pretty much our final everything. And also for that cassette tape, like, it's a little hard to locate if you have no idea where it is, because it's honestly in a place that's a lot simpler than you think it would be. But if you're like scouring the entire place for it, like that could be very annoying. Like trying to figure out where it is annoying, but once you know where it is, like it's probably the easiest objective of this mission, because like, I don't know, you pretty much will get it after you've done everything else, and well, once the mission has already gone perfectly. But you know, if you miss it, you're gonna feel very sad. So there we go, there's 2 of them there. But in this map, like, yeah, right over there's the last material container, and I'm just kind of doing these little like dolphin dives just because it's a really fun momentum building like tech thing, and also because like it's a cool way to like build momentum while not standing up straight, so you know you're not as visible as if you were sprinting. But yeah, once you pretty much enter this area, you're pretty much free to sprint. So yeah, our final objective, that cassette tape, is pretty much in like this one area which we can get down to. Well, we gotta pretty much climb up this long ladder, and then once we climb this long ladder and like we're close to the helipad, do not go to the helipad. Instead, take like some stairs like downstairs, and like pretty much just go through that linear area until you get to like this big elevator place. And in that big elevator place, there is, yeah, like right here, you see that helipad over there? Do not go over there. Instead, run to the side all the way to the stairs that go down. And like, yeah, like just go to this linear area right over here, and then it's gonna be an open space where like Skullface will keep that cassette tape. And yeah, the cassette tape apparently is just Heaven's Divide, but okay, is it Heaven's Divide like the actual song Heaven's Divide, or Heaven's Divide the instrumental version? I don't know. I didn't really listen to it when I picked it up, but there we go. I picked it up and I just completed one of the objectives, and now we pretty much just meet with Skullface. We pretty much skip all the cutscenes, and that finishes this mission. Like, wow, it's probably like, yeah, definitely one of the best missions in the game, if not the best. And well, man, I don't know if it has the appeal of the other missions, but like the way it's just, like the nice linear design complements everything. Just really like that. Really like that. So here's the final mission of Chapter 1. So the objectives for this mission, you'd be surprised there are extra objectives for pretty much this final boss fight of sorts. So destroy Sahelanthropus, destroy its head, and successfully hit the floating boy with an attack. Now the floating boy appears when pretty much Sahelanthropus here finishes like a railgun attack. So yeah, pretty much start this fight off, just shoot a bunch of rockets at it. Like this weapon in particular, like it just shoots like 3 rockets at once, and it's really cool. And then once I'm done shooting rockets, I'm gonna just fire a bunch of grenade launcher rounds at its head. Like, don't worry, I will use the rocket launcher to shoot grenade launcher to shoot like at its head. But since I ran out and I'm waiting for the supply drop, I'm just gonna be using this grenade launcher for the moment. Though I think I didn't. So yeah, here. Like after it just immediately starts to fight off, it's gonna release those missiles, which just keep running in a certain direction. You'll be just fine. And like, man, I don't know, like this boss fight, I don't think its design or like its like idea of a boss fight is as cool as some of like the stuff in Peace Walker, but like the gunplay in Metal Gear Solid 5 is a lot more satisfying and a lot more snappy. So like that already like kind of puts us ahead a lot of Peace Walker's boss fights, because Peace Walker has some somewhat clunky shooting. Because it was kind of copying the shooting in Metal Gear Solid 4, which was also a little clunky and slow. Now, whenever like this robot like kind of thrusts its big like sword whip down and like the rocks come out, it's honestly a little bit random, and I honestly don't know how to deal with certain rock formations. I'll just be running and I'll just immediately run into a rock. So I don't know, every time I run out of like rocket launcher ammo, I just gotta run to the ammo point. Like these ammo points keep getting farther and farther away, so that's really like insane and all that. But like I don't know, this boss fight's pretty cool. The theme is epic, and it has like, it's really intimidating. Just like, nice. And also whenever it shoots like the machine gun fire, just kind of run to the side, though sometimes like you don't have the space to run to the side though. And look at this, like I'm about to jump and all that, like I'm like right in front of this robot which is like stomping around, like oh my god, so intense. And like also when it immediately drops the sword down, when there's like no delay between like picking the sword up and dropping it down, it means it's gonna like build a shield around you. And you can kind of destroy the shield by shooting at it with like a submachine gun, which I did bring with me. And I did bring a submachine gun just simply for the fact of trying to hit like Psycho Mantis and all that. And like I guess that's another thing. Like I mean, Psycho Mantis and Eli pretty much robbed Skullface of his final boss fight. Like I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the idea of Sahelanthropus, like, you know, working against the will of Skullface, but not for Eli, not for Psycho Mantis. Like I don't know. I don't want those characters to be like the part of the limelight of this finale. So I believe I've already destroyed this dude's head with like the rocket launcher. So now I'm just going straight for the body, and now I've dealt so much damage that it's going to start doing the railgun attack. And now what you want to do for the railgun attack is you want to hide behind a rock, because, well, if you don't, you're going to get hit by it. And then once it's done with the railgun attack, it's going to come back, and at some point it will do the attack where it lunges at you, and then Psycho Mantis will be floating around like a dumb baby boy. Now anyways, I was naked before in some of the missions, and I'm going to say right now that I adopt this naked pattern because, well, I'm trying to take no damage, but I'm also don't have to sneak past this boss fight because, well, we're in direct combat with this thing. Same thing with the metallic Archaea like fight. I'm in direct combat with those things, so there's no need to use a sneaking suit. There's no need for my footsteps to be quiet. So why not just go all out naked? And also, I heard that being naked actually like improves your speed in this game. However, I also heard that was just a lie. But also, I'm just pretty much here for the aesthetics of it. I kind of wish there were like funnier outfits to wear. I mean, honestly, if I continue on with Chapter 2 or like beat all the missions, I'm sure there will be funnier outfits. But I've only beaten like Chapter 1 pretty much, so I'm just stuck with animal pants. And I'm just waiting for Metal Gear here to... Oh yeah, if you've noticed, I actually brought Quiet with me on this mission. I keep telling her to fire. Is she actually dealing any damage to Sahelanthropus? Is she taking shots? I wonder. And look at this thing just jumping back into action. Isn't that just swaggy? Like, the thing is, like, while you're waiting for Metal Gear Sahelanthropus here to do, like, that one attack which has Psycho Mantis in it, he could still do other attacks like that machine gun fire, and you could get hit by that machine gun fire, so, you know, you gotta watch out with that. Like, he could do plenty of different attacks and you, like, look at that, oh, that's so intense, like, oh my goodness. I'm waiting for him to do this one attack, but he just refuses to do so. And now he's gonna do an attack with a sword. What is that? And like, this could go so many different ways. Like, I almost got hit by that, but I dodged back at the nick of time. Like, oh my, it's very intense. Like Metal Gear Solid 5's movement is really nice. I talked about it a bit in my previous video. Okay, maybe now he's gonna do the big jump towards me. Come on, do it. There we go. Wait, it's like a drop kick. It's so strange. And yeah, there we go. I just completed my objective, so now I'm just going to completely destroy this robot. Though I just ran out of ammo for here. However, Sahelanthropus' like health is so low that I can just destroy it with the rocket launcher here. Like, oh, you're gonna pull out a sword? No, you're not. And that's my video. Thank you for watching. So for the next part, I will be no damaging main ops. Main ops 32 through 50, hopefully, and that'll probably be my longest video. So I'll try to do a little more research on the cutscenes and all that, and also just the extra tapes. And yeah, we're pretty much done here. I will see you all then.
Do it yourself. Mission complete, boss. Kill me! Kill me!
I did it!